on time this week, right? 6:45. That's like on time for us. Let everyone get in here. What's up? What's up? Anybody out there in TV land or internet? Oh, we got one viewer.
There we go.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh!
Light it up. 6:48.
I heard everyone gets a reel if they're late past 6:50. Well, it's 6:45, so not the case.
Too bad.
Just heard from Cam. They light it up at 6:48. Maybe Marlin is still on the river. Maybe.
What is up?
What's up, boys?
Still on the river.
What up?
Be a late night.
Yo. Yeah, it's been dark for like 2 hours, but you know. He's kind of hardcore though.
I can't stand how dark it gets so early.
And we're on the other side of it now, though.
Thank the Lord.
Finally, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody out there? See lots of people. I said 6:40. Is there like a side bet? Some, going to some side
what time do we actually start?
It was 6:45 when he hit the live button. Took him a minute, but yeah, it was very close. I feel like we could get some like side action going if we every week.
Side action.
What's the over/under, like 6:37? Or is that what we're doing now?
Just everyone start commenting on times.
Then we go back and average all the start times for like the last year, like figure out the over/under, and then start making that happen.
So much for 2 weeks in a row.
Probably. So, like I said, we didn't want to screw you guys up last week, but we did. We showed up early for once. I know. What's up, addicts? It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Jay. Blake's from Rainier, Washington, because he's telling us where he's tuning in from. And if you guys are just joining in, tell us where you are tuning in from. Did Clint say my ticket? Did Clint send my ticket for Puyallup yet? No, because you're not going to get a ticket. Save your receipt or your confirmation that you bought a ticket. We will have a list at the door. So don't call me
at 9 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock on a Sunday, Dawn. About your tickets. It's all good. But yes, that is what is going down. And what he's referring to, guys, for those that don't know, is we are doing a bash at the Puyallup show on February 4th and at the Portland.
It's amazing how many people get online and spend $25 and not read what they're buying.
They just want in.
Click. Yes,
I'm not going to say what Marlon said. But yeah, you guys, we got a bash coming up, Puyallup, on Saturday, February 4th. Lots of giveaways, including, a kayak, 8 rods and reels, tons of good seminars, good prizes. We'll probably have some videos. I don't even know what we got going on, but maybe we'll get Marlon in here as we're starting to get the details. But from the events that we do, it's always a good time. And then on Thursday night, the Sportsman Show, I believe it's February 16th. We are doing one at the Portland Sportsman Show. I shouldn't say the Portland Sportsman Show. The Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, Oregon at the Expo.
Yes.
And here's the thing, guys, and this is where it gets down dollars to donuts. It's going to go down. We have very few tickets for Puyallup left, and we have around 100 for Portland left. That's not a lot of tickets. We will probably sell out those tickets in days, if that. Maybe tonight. So if you guys are thinking about it, wanting to go, head down there, head over to addicted.fishing. Be sure to grab your tickets. I don't even know. I know we had some VIP. We've got some kid admissions and regular tickets. I know we're sold out on VIPs, right, Marlon? Yep. We are sold out on all VIPs, but it's gonna be a thing. And you guys know, we like to go big at these things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Finally, Portland Sportsman Show. It's going to be a riot. Are you guys going to be there?
I'm stoked, yeah.
You going to be there?
Yeah,
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
So you can tell them about the kayak. So
this is all news to me. We're getting it from Marlon right now.
There is a pedal drive kayak that we're giving away. The only way you can enter is by showing up to Puyallup or showing up to Portland. We will draw the winner in Portland.
Okay.
So you're going to get a raffle ticket.
So they could go either or. We're doing a pedal drive. We're doing a pedal drive kayak giveaway for showing up to the bashes. If you go to both bashes, you get 2 entries. There you go. But we are going to pick the winner at Portland, obviously, because Portland's after Puyallup. So don't worry about it. We'll get you. But we got pedal drive kayak, tons of other giveaways. You guys know it's always going to be a party.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
I mean, it's always a good time.
Finally, it's back. You know what I mean? It kind of.
last year was good. Last year was really good for the guys that went to the sportsman shows.
Yeah.
Like, since some people kind of held off still.
Yeah.
So I know like some of the guides and some of the retailers that went, it was really good.
Mhm.
But I think there was a little apprehension. This year, I feel like there is going to be no, like, people are going.
Yeah,
and it's
it'll
going
be
to be
all
good.
out.
And there's a bunch of new stuff, like, you know, doing the bashes and all kinds of new stuff that haven't been there at the shows before.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a good time.
Do they sell bait at the Portland Sportsman Show? Victoria, I don't know about all the sportsman shows, but I know like Millennial Bait's going to be at the Pacific Northwest in Portland. I know they're going to be there, so there could be some other... Sorry. The producer's actually producing and yelling at me for making noise. It's not a pen click, but it's almost as bad. We've got some really cool giveaways tonight, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But yes.
Thanks.
Oh, shoot. When is the golden ticket drawing, Marlon? Because I said you were going to do it the week you were not here. Can we do that tonight?
No, because I don't have my laptop.
Oh. If Marlon had his laptop. Okay, so we have one more week.
We can do it next week.
We will do it next week.
Drawing next week.
Marlon
for
has
the
to have
golden
his
ticket winner.
laptop because he just has to have his laptop for the random drawing, and the program that we use for that, he just has to have it. He doesn't have it. That's on Marlon. You can message Marlon personally. Yell at him. Be like, what's up? Just kidding.
Marlon's email is Kaplan at...
Marlon's email is order@addicted.fishing.
No!
I'm kidding. All right, guys. Tonight we brought Jason Harmson from
Yeah, I'll let you say it.
Steel Obsession Guide Service. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Steel Obsession.
What's up,
Guide
guys?
Service. Ryan McCon from Riverside Guide Service. And tonight we're talking about steelhead techniques that don't involve floats.
Wow.
And I rewatched.
You can catch one without a float?
You actually can.
Weird.
And
thing.
I got to send much love to Owen Outdoor GPS. I know they talked a little bit about this in their last show, or last weekend as well. So we didn't really have this kind of like plan. We just knew we were going to talk about other techniques other than fixed float, sliding float, bobber doggy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you talk about steelheading, it is fixed float, sliding float, bobber doggy. Fixed float, beads. You got bead? Bead? Like
What
believe it or
size?
not,
Bead?
there's
Bead?
lots. And then we did, and then we tackled plunking last week.
Mhm.
Because you guys want to. So tonight we're going to be talking a lot about steelhead fishing without floats,
Other stuff.
plugs,
Cool stuff. Yeah.
side planing, and drift fishing. Believe it or not, they can still be caught by drift fishing.
Yes. You don't need a bobber.
You don't need a bobber.
You do not need a bobber.
But before, no, we'll save that. We'll save that for later.
Okay.
So, all right, Clint, how many people we got watching? Got to see how many people. We've got over 350 you guys watching right now. So we need you guys to like and share this out
Ooh.
because apparently, like, everybody's just a float fisherman. We only have 350 of you guys. I don't know. Maybe it was starting late or not. But I tell you what, like and share this out. Let us know that you did so. Comment below if you've been steelhead fishing yet or not. And we are going to give some pretty cool prize packs away because, believe it or not, we send out so many damn packages during the drops that we do actually get some of them returned. It's a very, very, very small percentage, but we do. But Marlon came in the studio today and said, hey, dude, like, guess what? I've got some of the returns from the bashes, so we actually have some of the products. You're not going to get to choose colors. You're not going to get to do anything.
A pack.
But we've got some pretty cool giveaways tonight.
The prize pack is the prize pack.
The prize pack is the prize pack.
We got some 14 mil beads, some worms, and a bobber.
Look at this. Someone returned.
And then we'll talk about that.
Another prize pack.
Yeah, so we've got some of our drop colors of some DRO worms, DRO beads, some addicted fixed floats. Are these the trouts or are these the... These are the steelhead floats?
Yeah.
And then we've got this little beauty right here. And this is one of our custom Maglip 3.5s. This is called the Steely Trap. And what's crazy about this one, which blows me away, this is number 2. This one was labeled as number 2. Like, 40 years from now, when all these plugs are going to be worth about as much as Pokemon cards, first editions, these things are going to be worth about $10,000. The Addicted Club.
Cards.
Literally, this was number 2.
It's on the package.
Oh, it's on the package. Never mind.
On the back.
On the package. There it is. Number 2 of 200. So, We're going to be giving that away tonight as well.
That's a swimmer.
Now, here's a question. Can we use some of this stuff tonight? Like can you use beads and worms without floats and bobbers to catch steelhead?
Most
that
definitely.
impossible?
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Oh, weird. So it all fits in, guys. But we are giving away some floats, too. Some fixed floats.
Yeah. So, comment below. What did you say to comment? Sorry.
Why would they return anything? Brandon, we don't know. You know, you never know. People order stuff. Maybe the color didn't fit their fancy. Maybe they misordered a different color. Maybe they wanted something different. Maybe our guys screwed it up. I don't know. But we do get, I mean, when you put out 16,000, it's probably, Marlon said it's probably our fault. But when you put out thousands and thousands of packages, and we appreciate you guys ordering and doing that stuff, you're going to get, you know, a small percentage of returns. So, but their loss, your game. Their loss, your game. Been out 4 times. Our rivers of California are blowing out and muddy. That's right, Jason. You guys are getting it. But it's good that you're
no more drought down there.
Man.
It doesn't seem so. I saw like Shasta raise like 56 feet in a week.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
They always need it in the summer, you know.
The government finally turned on the weather.
Yeah.
The government finally turned on the weather, Marlon said. Marlon
Please
said the
cover
government
big water
finally
with
turned
the
on the
shiny
weather.
what?
Shit, we
Shiny
need more
plugs.
stuff in Texas
We will.
Yeah.
We will.
Please cover big water with the shiny plugs, please. We will, MO-Cats. We will. I got Jason in here to do that. We're going to talk about some bank fishing off some big water with some weird freaking side planer crazy something that Ryan's done. I'm going to talk about some steelhead drift fishing. So, got a good handful of steelies so far, says Curtis. I love my addicted stuff, says Joshua Tree.
Nice.
Spoons are what I'm catching with. Heck yeah, Faith. Good work.
Love that spoon bite.
Still learning to use beads.
Spoons are fun.
You know what? And we're going to say without floats, but we're not going to talk about spinners and spoons. And the reason why is because that is a whole other thing. And I know we had Jordan in here to talk about that a little bit early in the season, but I feel like we can still probably dedicate a whole freaking shebang
literally
to
a whole.
spoon. And, you know, we got a lot of time with you guys, but we like to be detailed and we like to talk about a lot of little things within those techniques.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to save that for another day. John Webb, Northwest Outfitters, thank you for the $10 super chat. Don't see a comment, but we do appreciate it, dude.
Thank you.
Hope all's well at that shoulder. No steelhead here, but I'll be putting every one of those in the water. Sweet. Catch a bass with them. I'm sure. I mean, dude, look at those worms. I mean, come on. Like, you absolutely like drop shot a smallie with that stuff.
Oh, here we go.
God, this
You
guy.
got to let the bass go for a minute, bud.
No,
that's fine. Let this guy have the bass.
Yeah.
that's right. You all lucky I'm going bass fishing. Cameron, do you have any openings for springers in April? And the answer to that is no, I do not. Believe it or not, these guys do. But I can tell you, like, I think word's out. I mean, every day I get an email that starts with, I know I'm early, but I'm thinking about, no, you're not. You're not early. You're on time. Don't wait till the season. Get a hold of these guys. Get some springers. Like, you guys have seen, you know, the Columbian paper put it out, even though it was a terrible article. I don't know who wrote it, but you can't compare last year's actuals to this year's forecast. Compare to this year's forecast to last year's forecast.
Yeah.
Because the forecasts are actually improved over last year. They're not improved over the actuals because they missed the forecast.
Correct.
But that article is, I don't know. Yeah, give me a call. I'll help you out. But either way, it's in the paper. People are talking about it. You got your bait ordered?
I got my, it's waiting.
You got your bait ordered?
Yep.
You got all those jars ready with all that goopy red stuff?
That is what I really got ready.
You got ready for it? Yeah. So no, guys, it's time to be thinking about that.
Yeah, I just got my smaller herring. Herring, you know, we've had a bunch of weird years with bait where, you know, one year we couldn't get green labels. All you could get is reds and oranges and even yellow. Some guys were going way down in size. And now it's the opposite. You can't find the small stuff, and everyone has greens and bigger stuff. Mm-hmm. So always plan ahead, I feel like, when it's herring time.
Absolutely. And this year, like from what we're hearing, guys, greens will not be in short supply. It's the smaller herring baits, the orange and the reds, that will be. Yeah. And in fact, if you don't get them now, they won't be coming. Like,
they're almost non-existent.
The pipe's going to dry up. So, but I don't know. Springers like green label.
They like greens.
No, I am. Yeah.
They'll eat them.
So yeah, be thinking about that, guys. Be thinking about that. Yep. Buy your gear and book trips 6 months in advance. Absolutely, TJ. If not a year. We all run Google Calendar. It's so easy to just like get off the boat and be like, can I have this date next year? And you go, bing,
Boom.
and you got it.
Yep.
It's really, yeah. Buddies are talking springers in the duck blind. I know. I took out one of the favorite guys I like to do some early springer fishing with yesterday on a rafting trip. That's all we talked about, springers. And how basically Nick Popov's going to give me $100 if I go one day in February. So I will be doing that as well.
Nice.
From a previous live feed, guys. All right, let's pick a winner here and let's start talking. We'll ask you guys. Why don't you comment below and ask it, what should we talk about? Side planters from the bank, drift fishing, or plug fishing? What's it going to be? And while you guys are telling us what we want to start with today, Clint, pick a winner and tell me how many people we got watching. We've got over 400, you guys. And Hannah, that is absolutely a possibility. Hannah, congratulations. You won a prize pack of, since it's in my hand, Addicted, the Trio Spinners, a Soft Beads, the pink lemonade from Dylan Rush Outdoors in our custom drop, and a fixed pink float. You won the first prize pack if you email us orders@addicted.fishing. Tell us what you want. Tell us you want prize pack number 1, and we'll get that sent out to you, include your address. But she said maybe their wife found out and said return it. I'm pretty sure that's probably happened.
Could be a possibility.
Occasionally. Marlon, have you ever bought anything that Sharon just like...
I hide it all now.
You hide it all, yeah, okay.
That's what the garage is for.
I was gonna say that's why they come here, right?
Oh yeah, they just come to the shop.
Yeah, he's got a whole shop.
You guys are like, you're throwing me under the bus right now. So change subject.
See, I just tell my wife, I need it for work. I need this for work. I mean, even if it's I need it for work.
Yeah.
She don't know the difference between bass gear and steelhead gear. Love you, honey. Hope you're not watching.
Or get rid of the wife.
Or just get rid of the wife.
That's Clint's solution.
Or the wife gets rid of you.
Yeah, that's probably
that
more
gets kind of
likely to happen.
expensive.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now I buy whatever I want.
Yeah.
All right, Clint, scroll up and let's take a look. I see a drift fishing. I see a bank, drifting plugs.
Drifting plugs.
Banks, please. Drifting, plunking plugs. We'll touch on that tonight because I know we ran really long last week. We had over 500 of you guys watching the whole time. So we ran to like 8:45 and we didn't get a chance. We'll touch on that tonight for you guys. Drift fishing, bank fishing. Congrats, Hannah. Plugs behind a side planer. We will be talking about that. Drift fishing, plugs. Oh gosh. Plug. Drift.
It's kind of everything, isn't there?
It's everything.
It
I
is
think there's
kind of
more
everything.
drift.
Yeah.
More drift?
I think so.
It's a split between drift and plugs. Definitely.
Plugs, not drugs.
Plugs, not drugs. That is a good saying. Like, we should somehow trademark that. Who's got a coin? Let's play a game. Who's got a coin? Anybody?
None.
Okay, if this marker points at Jason.
Oh, I actually do have
Oh,
a
here we
coin.
go. Heads for drift fishing. I'll go first. And we're all going to chime in, you guys. We all do all these things. Heads for drift fishing. Tails for starting with plugs. It's heads. Drift fishing it is. All right, let me get some stuff.
Bam.
So believe it or not, guys, before,
Bouncing bottom.
and we can talk about this because before, I can still remember, like, and I'm actually kind of glad we're starting with this. I'm getting all sidetracked on myself here. But I can actually remember, like, all my steelhead fishing, like, back in high school and just out of high school was all side drifting. Yeah. Even in spots that made no sense to do it. Like, I can still remember opening up the STS article. Because believe it or not, Addicted doesn't just give away all the secrets. Like, believe it or not, people have been doing it for 60 years. But I remember still reading the first float.
There ain't no secrets anymore.
I still remember reading the first, like, catching steelhead under a float article, like, in the STS magazine. Mm-hmm. And knowing that guys would run around with little red, white bobbers and like orange bucktail jigs that were made, for like walleye twitching,
crappie jigs,
walleye jigging and stuff like that, and started catching fish a lot easier than we did. We used to run around with
the Canadians revolutionized it,
the Canadians. This is like was our gear.
Boys.
Like we had pencil lead.
Oh yeah.
The old pliers. The old hole punch pliers.
Punch pliers.
Punch pliers, our little flambeau bait holder right here.
Yep.
Then you had your
Still
nail
have
fire.
one.
Still got one. And then we had our spool of leaders because we were drift fishing in areas that really shouldn't have been. And that's where we're going to stop, like, because I already know this comment is coming. I haven't seen it yet, but it's coming. And there's people out there thinking, well, drift fishing is a superior technique and floats are training wheels and all that other BS. Because, like, for some reason, some people think if they know how to drift fish, like, they're a superior angler to those that float fish. But I can tell you right now that if I take you to certain runs that are going to be more conducive to float fishing, those float fishings are going to hand it. Those float fishing guys will hand it to you.
Yeah.
There are, like with any technique, whether it's twitching coho, bobber fishing eggs with coho, any of that kind of stuff, every certain areas have their places.
Yes. Everything has
and
a
even
place
last year, like while we were doing some filming with Big Dave and Nick, like we were sitting there raking out the holes, and Jordan's like, I'm gonna drift a puffy. And it's the most god-awful, ugly, damn drift rig I've ever seen in my life, because that's not what I think drift fishing is. But guess what? After we got done blasting 5 or 6 steelhead out of this hole, knowing there's more in it, the second something different went in, freaking boom, there's Jordan. Yee, got another one. Like 4 times in a row.
I thought you were going to talk about you smashing us with the drift and the bead.
There was another time. I was talking last year. That was the land shark last year when Jordan was doing the puffy.
Well, yeah, you with the bead though. Was
so
impressive.
and 3 years ago,
he bumped in and just
we had another setup where we were fishing on fish we were with Nick and Dave, same situation.
Yeah.
And we were just working, floating, and fish were rolling in the hole. And I'm like, okay, something's not like, I can look at the water when it comes to float fishing, and you can, for the most part, kind of determine like how deep it is.
Yeah.
But this run kind of buried in, there was a log jam in the back of it, and I don't know, like it could have been going down like 6-7 feet and then dumping to like 12. There was no way. The water visibility wasn't there. Can you drift fish from the bank or just from the boat? No, Justin, you absolutely can do both with this. And I'm going to really kind of cater this. I'll split out the boat stuff because there's a few more techniques and the whiteboard's coming out for this. Yes, everyone, I know. Calm down. The whiteboard's coming out. But you can't. But yeah, you can do both. But I don't know how deep this run is. And they're rolling in the hole. Marlon, we're all sitting there just like, there's steelhead jumping. Like, what the? Winner. Like, okay, they jump.
They're piled in it.
They're rolling. You understand?
They're piled in.
What was crazy about it, that was probably the most I've seen steelhead jump in one spot in like a short period of time.
Yeah.
That thing I've seen in years.
It was
I
crazy.
can't think of another time other than like Alaska.
It was unreal.
So I grabbed a piece of pencil lead and a bead. I'm like, I'm going to force feed these sons.
We couldn't get them. I mean, we were catching them here and there, but
Going right over the top of them, sounds like.
Right.
Yeah.
Either way, and like Marlon said, first cast through, I'm getting like, and I'm like, can't believe it because I like throw out there, tick, tick, tick.
Oh, really?
No way. Guess
then,
what?
Dude, he proceeded to just sit there and just maul you.
Found that presentation.
I got something
got down there.
And like I talk about with like a lot of kokanee fishing, salmon fishing, a lot of fishing.
Yeah.
Probably just got something in front of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like
there's an episode, right? We filmed
it was an episode. Oh, we filmed it.
Yeah, there's an episode.
It's probably 3 or 4. It's probably one of our first episodes with Big Dave and Nick.
Maybe.
It probably. I mean,
it's the same episode. I hooked the fish right next to the boat.
Yes, at the end of when we were rowing out, and we're like, I remember I said something like,
I said, wouldn't it be weird if I hooked one and I stuck it down right next to the boat?
And he like,
and then next thing you know, dude, my thing goes, and I'm like, no way!
maybe Clint can find this first episode because it is a cool episode. Like I said, Marlon and I are standing in the boat, and he's, oh yeah, can I do this? And I watched Marlon's float like right here, just go right on our feet. We're like,
there he is.
Yeah. It
was crazy.
Crazy episode. But the point is, guys, everything has a time and place. James saw you yesterday too, I think. Everything.
Well, one thing I wanted to say, Cameron, you said it's like people think they're superior. I don't think that, but I can tell you the best fishermen I know definitely got their roots from pencil lead and a leader previous to the bobber. And I feel like for me and a lot of very good fishermen I know, it's kind of like learning the basics. You learn a lot about water, you learn about adjusting, and the same stuff that makes me super fishy on the big water is stuff I learned from the basics. And I think drift fishing is something that people should do just to feel that feel and that
No, they really
presentation.
shouldn't. I really don't see it that way. I really don't think they should do this at all. I'm going to talk about it, but no. I think I completely agree with you. But I do think there's some people that like, I'm a drift fisherman. And it's like, cool. Like, I'll take you to a couple runs where you can throw that little pencil.
Yeah, anyone that's stuck on
Good
one
luck.
technique,
Stick on the bottom.
You're missing the
yeah,
boat.
anyone that's stuck on one technique, they need to get outside the box because there's every place it'll let you know when you got the right gear you're throwing in there, you know?
Yeah.
Be it a float, spoon, spinner.
Well, I've noticed the last few years too, Jordan consistently, every time I fish with him, he has a bead rod, a worm rod, a jig rod, and a drift fishing rod.
Yep.
And it's probably just on the account that no one's doing
Not
it.
a lot of people are doing it.
That's the thing is everyone's got the same presentation now, and I've noticed especially on low crystal clear water where the fish are like hiding in the lumber. How are you going to float fish that? How are you going to drift? How are you going to bobber fish that? The only way to get it is swinging gear.
Yeah,
drift
something
fish
in
it.
front of them. Yeah.
Like I've watched it.
Something in front of them. Weird.
Yeah.
You just can't get to them. They're hiding in structure.
Yeah.
So the only way to get under that structure is just simply drifting in there.
Or snag them.
Or just snap.
Yeah.
Like Marlon said.
I've never drifted more than like a 5-foot leader. I've never done this flossing or whatever you call it. I don't call that drift. I call that sophisticated snagging.
Yeah. Jordan's puff leader when we were fishing this last weekend is like 10, 12 inches maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really short.
Get down.
Getting it close to them.
One of the first things, and actually we don't even get a steelhead fish there anymore. But one of one of the first days that I actually like caught steelhead, this one old boy was just cleaning this up, and he was fishing these little red flies on these little tiny short leaders. And I was fishing. I'm like, oh, it's steelhead. I have to have a 6-foot leader with my beta eggs.
Yeah.
Nope. He taught me a lesson that day, and it was like it was. I can't say where it's at. It's where camp's going to be. Where my camp's going to be this spring. That river. And it's like back when they had the dam in it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, it was stupid.
Especially the faster the run and the harder the water. Shorten that leader up. Get that gear down quick.
Getting something in front of them.
Yep.
So we're going to break that down a little bit, guys. And I saw another guy's question where he said cannonballs or pencil lead. And so before we get too far into that, like there's also slinkies, which I don't have anything of. People can use everything from casting weights to lines that hang down with like split shots crimped on them with a little knot at the bottom, because a lot of times when you're drift fishing, you do tend to burn a little bit of gear.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially trying to figure out the hole. Once you figure out your drift fishing and your swing, you dial in, and then you become much more efficient in that area, and you're able to, you're not going to lose as much gear. But before we even get that far, first thing, for back in all your side drifting days, all my side drifting days was with mono, because a lot of us, we weren't fishing braid. Believe it or not, new steelheaders out there.
Yep.
Braid is kind of a new thing.
Always mono back in.
It was always mono.
In the beginning, when I started guiding and stuff, it was definitely mono. Now there's some stuff out there that's kind of a combo, like it's mono and braid, and it works pretty good, and it's thinner diameter, so I feel like it gets down a little bit better. But definitely back in the day, mono when you're side drifting.
Yeah.
I think it was because we just didn't have anything else though too.
Yeah.
But what about this day and age? Because we're gonna do rod reel line real quick. So, would you fish braided line for side drifting?
Certain places I would. Shallower runs, steelhead fishing, probably not. When I'm side drifting for kings and big holes where I know I'm going like 6 feet and I'm trying to get down into 20, 22 to get to those kings down there, I'll run some braided line. I just feel like a lot of times it's tougher for clients to get it tight, and when I'm side drifting, I kind of want that shock absorption. I want that line stretch, and I want it to be able to pump and not really feel the rod yet until they turn back upstream with it.
Yeah. Without using, like in my side drifting, like kind of my side drifting days. No, like I don't want to make it sound like I'm old or anything. But we would put 15-foot bumpers on high-vis mono. So we'd have the high-vis mono because it was really important as you were drifting from the boat, but even from the bank too. It was really important to be able to like kind of watch your line and understand if the water was pulling the line, which was then pulling the gear, or if the water was pulling the gear and then the line was following. That was a huge part of it because
you get a smoother drift that way.
Right, depending on exactly where. So we wanted something that was like the high vis mono, but then we would tie like an ultra green or a we didn't know an iron fluorocarbon back then, but we tie just like a thinner diameter line in front of it, and then just fish it straight. So, but now I run braid.
Yeah.
I run braid.
I still feel like
For the sensitivity.
Sensitivity.
You brought up a good point. Like I go back and forth a little bit because certain times I want that mono pulling my gear downstream more consistent, where the braid's just cutting through the water, and the leads are sticking. Like if I'm fishing on a river that's got a lot of big rock, I feel like the mono drifts better. Yeah, and still to this day on certain rivers, I see guys that won't switch over to the bobbers on bigger streams that are just mono all the way.
Yeah, I like to run the braid to like a 10 to 15 foot bumper fluorocarbon. Something that'll sink, something that'll get the bait down.
Yeah.
But this is like probably the one situation where even having a little extra line diameter to help that water push and sweep the gear down probably correctly.
That's that 10% right there.
Probably benefiting you a little bit. What about copolymers? We're talking copolymers and the same thing. I mean, in this discussion as far as braid, because any of those copolymers, monofilament fluorocarbon, you're going to have larger line diameters than the braid. But I know for me, when I was guiding clients doing a lot of side drifting, it was really important to have the visibility.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see 100%. Where lines kind of were laid out. And
For
I'm
sure.
going to whiteboard that here in just a minute.
I think I found that episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I just wanted you to. We were talking so much about that episode.
Years ago, I just ran 12-pound big game, 8-pound maxima leaders, surgical tubing. You can adjust your weight real easy, and there was nothing wrong with it. It worked great. I've caught 40+ pound kings on it, and caught steelhead in gin clear water, and I feel like for drifting, it's not as important to get that line to cut through the water,
Yeah. If you guys, a couple key points like we talked about earlier too, the importance on just getting something in front of them. So there's an advantage there. The other advantages too is as that weight is ticking along the bottom, it is, I think, kind of slowing that presentation. And as that presentation drops down to the bottom, is working on the bottom, the current right against the rocks, right against the bottom of the river is always slower than what's flowing above. And so there is like quite an art, especially when you're trying to like operate a boat and drift down, like trying to keep like the boat speed that's going with the gear, not with the current of the water, and kind of like monitoring and watching that. But the advantage is once it gets down, starts tapping and working the bottom, you're probably, like last I checked, steelhead do for the most part like to hang on the bottom.
Oh, all fish. They want to get out of that current.
Yeah. Talk about when to set the hook. Brett, we will. That's a great point. Thanks for bringing that. We will talk about that here.
When to set the hook and when not to.
So spinning reels, a lot of spinning reels, but the advantage of spinning reels, of course, is casting out, being able to let it go. Far cast, not worrying about.
I would say your OG drifter is all about bait caster. Like when I was a younger kid and teenager, like you never saw a guy that was just an OG drifter with a spinning reel.
Right.
Yeah.
They always threw bait casters because they can feed that line out smoother.
They can extend the drift. Yeah, and so that's where that's a good point. I was just bringing that up, but having the ability to where just when that bait is, you cast straight out, and I'll diagram this stuff for you guys. But you cast bait out, let the bait start ticking, and before the current swings into the bank, if you don't dump any line out, it's only going to go the distance that you cast it and then swing in. But if you have a bait caster, you can just sit there with your thumb and like pick it up, move it, feel for it, dump line out,
and
cast
feeding
out, and let it go. You can let it go 3 or 4 times as far.
Oh yeah, and feeding a bait like on Chinook, like especially in the situation where you feel like it's swinging. I never wanted to put the pressure on them yet. I felt like if I could just feed a little bit of line, they'd take it down. Once they take it down, they load up, and then you're on them instead of. They feel it and just kind of let it go sometimes.
And see, Chris Jones says only bait caster while drifting. But reality is, like, if you're from a boat spinning, like
I think bait caster from the bank, 100%. Boat spinning all the way because the boat's doing the work and your boat's controlling the drift.
Your boat's doing the drift.
Yep.
We should probably draw that out.
The boat is extending the drift forward.
Actually, let's talk a little bit. No, not yet. Jumping the gun.
While you're doing that.
So rods. What's that? Wait, what's that?
I was going to do the clip, but
pull it up real quick.
Oh, do you actually have the clip of the part?
Well, I have the episode, and you're going to see the intro and the title. I can move it to wherever you want.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, guys, this episode like really kind of showcases like a time. Oh, yep, that's definitely the episode. If you guys,
There's Cameron right there. He's drifting.
we're gonna chime this up for you guys, and Clint will pin it. Is that what you
Nice
said?
fish. Look at that.
What episode?
𝗛𝗘𝗟𝗣 series just buttoned up in his jaw. See it, buddy?
Low water steelhead fishing insanity, and in parentheses, their
Into the
staff.
old landing.
So if you go to our Addicted Fishing
We'll go back.
YouTube, check it out, and look up at that episode, and you'll see exactly where drift fishing can come into play and be part of your arsenal. Oh wait, here we go. Hold on there. I think that was probably the one that was drift fish.
Oh my gosh!
There it is. Oh my gosh! Yeah. All right, get rid of it. Get rid of it. We're just gonna sit here and watch it. You guys can check that out though. It's on YouTube.
That was nuts, dude.
That was that last fish that Marlon was like, "Oh man, I wonder if I could get one right on." Oh, I got one.
That
There
was an
is.
insane day.
Yes, Cam drawings. Ha ha ha. Clint is a fish catching machine. He might be. He's got a new boat. I will be posting lots of pictures and telling everybody where to low hole. Springer season's coming up. We'll be taking care of that. So, typical.
Where he's at.
I want to pay him to wrap his boat.
Are you
so
getting
he's
it? I was
real
gonna say, are you getting
noticeable.
it wrapped?
Yes, yes.
Clint, I need you to wrap your boat so
Hey,
everyone
if you
can
want
see
that
you.
finder and all that fish finder stuff installed, bro, you're gonna have to wrap it.
It's not even.
Okay.
You guys think it's funny? It's not funny at all, dude.
It's funny.
No, it's
funny.
not, because
No,
it happens a
it's
lot.
funny. It's funny. It's funny.
Clint is not laughing on that one. He's
All right,
serious
all right,
right
all
now.
For those that don't know, because we have 500 of you guys watching now, back when Clint owned a boat, we used to talk about.
Oh, here we go.
We used to hire people, not hire people, but tell people to make sure when you start your pass, you always start it right in front of Clint, or if he anchors up, you anchor right below him. We started the hashtag LoHo Clint Companion. And this is a very, very excellent campaign. I think we need to reinstate it. We will be posting lots of pictures and videos of Clint's boat as we get out.
It's teal.
Yeah, we don't
Teal
know it.
fish
Don't
right.
don't
It's
listen
a teal
to him
fish, right?
yet. Don't listen to him yet. No, we do not know when my channel is. No idea.
All right, back
Clint's-
to
yeah,
back to
drift
rods.
fishing. So rods. This is actually a technique that you don't want to have the longest 12-foot
No.
rod. Why do bass guys? Here's that bass fishing. Why do bass guys really run a short rod? What's the main reason why they like to run short rods?
Small rods.
All bass fishermen have small rods. That's what Clint Laurie said. Bass fishermen, please email Clint at addicted.fish.
Well, I think
But
why is for the quickness of the rod to be able to feel the bite and set the hook and get it in. Those bass got tough mouths and.
What's a more sensitive rod, a short rod or a long rod?
Oh, short rod for sure.
Short rod.
Yep.
So it's not something that you want to have a 13-foot rod. You can you do it? Yep. But
I've never drift fished with anything longer than 9.5,
I was
and
gonna
that's
say
from
8 to
from the
9
boat.
is like this to me.
Yeah.
Drift fishing, for what I'm telling you, 8 to 9 was like the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have. Now, if you're fishing like massively huge water, you're drift fishing from the bank because you're one of those poor suckers that are dealing with the whole no fishing from boats rule because they think they're going to do something with that. Anyways, maybe you have to have a longer rod so you can keep your line up higher or something.
Yeah.
But you don't really want to have like the longest rod. You want to have a very sensitive
I think
rod.
the bank, I always liked an 8.5. The boat, I run 9.5. I like it more give and for bigger fish and just get that parabolic bend on it. It's not as important to have.
Okuma makes a 9.2 that's like perfect.
It's right here. I brought one in. Look at it. It's
brought
8
the
to
nine.
17, 9.2. It's got a diver on it.
They also make one in a 6 to 12 for like lighter.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff we fished back in the day, a lot of 6 to 12.
Yeah.
6 to
But
12.
bait caster
That's what
there.
I started
Obviously, you
with,
wouldn't want a line
9 foot,
counter
6
on
to
it.
12.
No, this is the plug rod, but the rod, or excuse me, this is the plug reel. But I mean, for the rod,
The rod's the 8 to
guys
17, 9.2.
yeah, you get the idea. I like 7'11" for drifting, 8'6", 8 to 17. Guys are chiming in 8'6". Yeah, it's not something like I said. So very, very cut and dry. It's more about that weight because you definitely don't want to have the heaviest rod because the bite, right? When you're drifting along. And you're feeling that thing tick the bottom, and you start to get the bite. Oh, I always used to tell people, like, feel for the rubber band.
Yeah.
You get that rubber band starting to pull on it, you'll start feeling almost like you hooked one. And having a little softer water, whereas that bait goes by, the fish can grab, And a fast action rod, I feel like if the line tightens too fast, kind of it could pull it away from them. Where like a softer rod, like get a little more sweep, get the bait, or excuse me, get the weight and everything kind of pulling behind the fish and setting the hook, it's drilling right back into the fish's mouth.
Well, you're letting it load up at that point. You're letting the rod actually load up.
So when are you setting the hook to answer Brett's question?
Bank or boat was it?
Let's say bank first.
Bank?
So you're ticking along.
Ticking along. You feel that fish kind of pump, load, and as soon as I feel it load and the weight's there, I'm coming up on it.
Yeah. So if you're feeling it load, I mean, that fish could be biting for a couple seconds.
Oh, 4 or 5 times it can be pumping the rod. As soon as I feel the weight of it, I'm setting, because at that point that fish is kind of turned on it a little bit, and when
you're fishing corkies, are you setting it like 3 times a cast?
No, like I told you.
So you're actually feeling.
I've never done the flossing technique, so
I like that.
Yeah, I wait till it loads up.
Okay, so you're not setting the hook 3 or 4 times.
No.
You're waiting to actually.
I always call that. I see those guys doing it, and there's always the courtesy hook set right at the end of the drift. I don't do that. I've always fished bait, like when I was drifting, and you do that, you just tore your eggs off or your shrimp or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a technique that I already saw. I saw somebody. Just drift fishing is just snagging. It's like.
No, I saw a guy write 12-foot leaders on the ticket.
It can be snagging, but wait to feel for a fish and set the hook, because when you're setting the hook, you're feeling a fish like grab it, you know he's got it. You're not just feeling like because in areas that they are more dense than others, if you're drift fishing, you'll literally feel that rod like pink. You can sometimes feel them bouncing into it.
You can feel when you're lining them, I call it, or bouncing the lead off of them. You can totally feel the difference.
Yeah.
But when that fish is biting it, you're going to feel like a chomp. You're at least getting two bites out of it, and then you're going to set on it.
Heath says hook sets are free.
Is that rod a classic or a pro? I know the answer, but they're asking.
Oh, that's a GSP. That's a pro, because the classics are going to be the composite style, the more brown blanks. And honestly, for this type of fishing, for drift fishing,
this is what you're
not going to want a composite. You're going to want a full graphite rod.
It's quick. It's light. You're going to be able to hold it, fish all day, feel the bottom with it.
Yeah, just remember, guys, Guide Select Pros are meant to be like fished in your hand. Like Guide Select Classics are meant to be fished in a rod holder.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, there might be some crossover, but on it, unless you're like float fishing. With like those big, because we fish our trolling rods for springers, but you're watching that 3-ounce float like, oh, there he is.
That's perfect, because I bobber dog with pros.
Yeah. Pros are meant to be fished in your hand, even bobber dogging, but they're a little lighter too. They're going to have more sensitivity. So any of the Okuma GSP line is going to be what you want. Curtis, I'm going to draw a picture in just a minute. Of 500. I know like this live feed went from 350 to almost 500 you guys when I said I was going to draw. So just stringing you guys out.
Better do a giveaway here. We got enough giveaways
tonight.
We
got a couple more. Make people wait here a little bit. Anyone says it's flossing, haven't done it long enough. Exactly, Michael.
Yeah.
Just like twitching is snagging, and just like 360s are for shitty fishermen. I said it. Oh God, I said it. That's not a bad word. 360s are for bad fishermen. And then you run 360s all the time. Okay, moving on. Any other good questions here? So one thing that, the other thing that you're doing with drift fishing that sometimes can be hard to do with, it's almost not hard to do, but it's almost the same as we're going to talk about from the bank, because now you guys wanted me to do this. Here we go. Boom. Got a rod. A couple things you guys are going to want to do is when you're drift fishing, you're able to really like cover the whole area of the run, right? So, for instance, let's say...
slide it over a little bit.
I don't know why we're side camming yet. There's a boulder. A couple little boulders.
Ooh.
I don't know. Just a rock pile. Okay. Current. I already hear laughing by Marlon. Just shut up.
This is how I feel all the time.
This is what people want. Hold on. No. This is what people want.
Why?
Go off a side cam. Go off a side cam, please. There we go. Hold on.
How do you feel, Jason? How do you feel?
Picked on.
20 pound.
You weren't here for that part of the podcast.
No.
Oh, you're getting picked on?
Oh, yeah.
No, he was not.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was
Come
not.
on.
Ripping on him.
Ripping on him. Okay, couple.
Brutal.
It was not brutal. Asking questions. Okay, go second. Okay,
Here we go.
There's 20-pound steelhead. You guys wanted it. There it is.
He's not hiding behind the
20
big pile of rock.
Hold on. No, he's not. Because sometimes it's too turbulent behind the rock.
Sometimes.
So
He's in the tail.
there's
out.
no
let's talk
hydro
about
cushion.
Here's my guy. That's Ryan. Tall, lanky, loud.
About half the decibel of you, but keep going.
All right. Currents flow in this direction. A couple things you do drift fishing is make your cast here, run your drift out, and swing it in. Your next cast is here, running your drift out, working it around the boulder. Like a lot of times, like guys always like just want to run up, drop their cast in the middle of the run and just or run the far bank.
Yep.
Like don't get lost in that. This is a searching bait. This is a searching technique. Now, if the water is low and you know there's like one part of the run the fish are going to be in, but let's say the water is up. You know, a lot of times these fish, like if you've got all this turbulence like behind the rock, they're going to sit on the sides of this rock or even in front of it more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're going and you're doing a drift fishing rig, if you're just walking down, firing a couple casts in the middle of the river and going and not trying to pick apart not trying to pick apart the area that you're fishing, just a couple casts like, oh, I just walked up, I'm going to fish behind the rock, 2 or 3 casts and walk away. You're not going to be, honestly, you're not going to be, you're going to be missing Mr. 20-pound steelhead.
Yep.
So be by able to making the cast inside the rock, outside the rock, behind the rock, casting
how would
a little
you
far,
fish it
swinging behind the rock.
To get it over the rock and fish it behind without hanging up, Cameron, what's your technique?
There's no set technique to that because like if that is that rock out of the water, is it under the water?
It's hanging you up.
You
tried to fish it, it's hanging you up. It's hanging you up and you can't get it over.
Maybe drop it right on top of the rock and then let the bait kind of maybe fall off of it, get into the softer water, dump some line to it, make it sink, start making contact and swing it out. But a lot of times
I like getting contact above it a lot of times, and I'll lift my rod tip, and as soon as I feel it, I know I'm clear, I can watch my line, I'll just drop my rod tip right back down, and that gets me over it pretty good.
Yeah.
The point of this is, yeah, you're going to adjust your weights.
Yep.
You can adjust your leaders. You can adjust a lot of your things. But the idea with this technique is not to just go out, blast a cast across. You know, you want to cast here, you want to cast here, you want to cast here. And then, do you ever cast upstream? Like, do you ever cast upstream and run your stuff down?
If it's a deep, fast run, for sure, I'll throw it up and make sure I'm getting down.
So
I always cast it up.
Occasionally up here.
Slightly.
10% slightly up here. So you're never going to 45 it up this direction.
Because your lead's going to hit and hang up almost instantly a lot of times when you do that. And from the bank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, from the bank.
From the bank.
Yeah, from the bank. We'll
from the boat, we're throwing upstream all the time.
Right. So we're talking from the bank. Always pick it apart. Yes, absolutely, says James. Close, middle, far is what I go for, says Joaquin. That's where the long rod comes in handy, Chivo. Yes, it does, but I think everyone's perspective of long could be 8.5 feet versus 12 feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes if the river, let's say, is really big and you want to hit over here, sometimes having the long rod just to keep the line up off the water, because you don't necessarily want all the line up off the water with this technique because you want it to swing out. Mm-hmm. But by knowing that these are all going to like end up swinging out this way, you're going to end up covering more. And then moving down to the next spot, you're covering even more water with your swing.
What about, sometimes I do it and a lot of people don't do it, but it's like where boondogging and stuff kind of, it's the same, but from the bank, I'll cast out when I drift fish and just start walking down the bank and not even, and covering the water that way, just like you're in a boat.
Yeah.
And keeping that drift straight and covering those different areas and not having my line swinging as much.
Yeah.
Where you can, where it's applicable, sure.
Yeah.
If your leader ain't bumper to bumper, you check, you ain't gonna catch. No, Caleb. No. Like we kind of briefly talked about a little bit is actually having like the shorter bumper to help you get your bait down to where the fish are can actually be sometimes more beneficial than having a 6 or 7 foot leader. But yeah, walking down, moving into the run. The other place that drift fishing is actually real effective and probably more effective than fishing the float is in like the bubble curtain and in some of the riffle chop.
Oh yeah.
Like you're talking the riffles that like dump into the river where it's only like a foot and a half deep, water's low, fish are stacking somewhere, like they're not going to be, Mr. 20-pound steelhead's not going to be in the greasy, like flat part of the tail out when the sun's beating down on it.
He's going to have his nose in the
gonna
bubbles
be up,
and the rocks.
He's going to be up hiding in the foot and a half water. Drift fishing can be very effective and sometimes even a little better than float fishing.
For sure.
Up in those areas. And also like in the video that Clint pinned up and we were talking about, you know, an area that you don't know what the bottom is. You haven't seen it during low water. You're having trouble making contact. No, I'm not going to say that. You're not going to make contact. You don't know how deep it is. You want to know for sure.
Yeah.
Cast out the lead, start tapping the bottom, run it out a few times, and there's times it works.
So I saw a good question about how many times should your stuff be ticking the bottom. That's a really good question because I feel like a lot of people like talk more about like.
I feel like
more about like weights and choosing your weight and then the ticking of the
I
bottom.
feel like two different ticks for if I'm fishing Chinook from the bank and I'm drift fishing or I'm fishing steelhead. There's two different like tap rates, I call it, or whatever you want.
Okay.
I feel like when I'm fishing for kings, throwing eggs or big beads, 25 millimeter stuff like that, I want to dredge. Kings are lazy; they're not going to come move as far. I want that thing. If I'm steelhead fishing, I just want it ticking every once in a while, just tink.
Like 1 1,000,
tink.
2 1,000,
So-
3 1,000,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah, it's a tick, not
That's
a
kind of
drag.
how I always
Yeah,
timed it. Was
It's a tick,
was
not a
time.
drag. At least it does seem for steelhead. Even just that light ticking is going to be enough to like slow your bait down.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
to
whole
where it's
goal
gonna
is to
touch.
move it slightly slower than the current
It's
speed.
almost like
Yeah.
bobber dogging. It's weird.
And that's why the pencil lead is so effective, right? Because it allows you to be able to
Yeah, you
easily,
can easily
adjust
adjust
to make sure
anytime.
you're not dragging so
Well,
hard.
see, I got ahead. You guys made me get ahead. I didn't talk about like the way I actually punched some pencil leads out, and it's just going to show you guys. But now we're talking this. So
You got to show them for sure, though.
we have 500 people that don't want to see Crycam. Get rid of it.
Where is it?
Okay. Every 1 second, people are tick, not drag. Kind of water speed and bottom makeup. So that's what I was going to talk about. Like, hold on. So I got to draw another 20-pound steelhead upside down. There he is. 20-pound, 20-pounder. Okay. Steelhead's behind the rock. Oh, wait. There we go. Steelhead's behind the rock. That bait, if you're throwing it down there, it's not hitting here, here, hanging up on that rock. You have to pull it free. Here. Like that bait needs to be just making contact like here, and into the fish's mouth, right? You're not trying to purposely drag. There are, like you said, the times like when you're Chinook fishing or something, you want to get it down low. I swear Chinook will pick up a good bait of egg, just suck it right off the bottom. At steelhead, a lot of times you're fishing the more moving water. They're not dropped back down in like a 30-foot hole, right?
And I've seen where you just like tick, like every 4 seconds you're touching and you're just crushing steelhead.
Yeah. This isn't like bobber dogging where you're just letting it just, that bobber's chugging down the road.
Yeah.
And then if you have that, situation, what Marlon was talking about with the pencil lead is by utilizing pencil lead as your weight, you can trim it down. You have a bunch of pre-cut weights. It's very inexpensive to use, super simple to use. And so that's where the advantage of using the pencil lead really comes in for that. I understand now, but only because of the picture.
Sweet.
How deep is too deep? How
I hope
deep
he's
is
not
too deep
trolling.
for drift fishing? I feel like drift fishing, you can fish the
He's not
deepest of the
trolling.
deepest.
Yeah.
It's definitely
the
a
beauty of
better
it.
technique for those big deep holes that are harder to get to with a bobber.
And you know what's funny? Like the one regret I had from when you and I did that video where we floated that river and we could not figure him out to the last hole.
We should have
Like I literally like on the way home, I was driving home. I was like, why the frick was I not just dredging lead in there?
And one thing I've noticed
Yeah.
over the years is we seem to do a lot better in the higher water drifting, for sure. Like every time I floated in the last 2 years when the water's been higher, the guy who's drift fishing catches more fish than everyone.
Fish are
I
sucked
think
down to
that's
the bottom
literally
more and it
just all-
slows it down a little
I mean,
bit.
if you think about it though, like when the water's higher, but there's also just more current. Like if you have the right current,
All about
drift
getting
fishing.
it down in front of their face.
Yeah.
I would say yeah too, but like I said, on
matter.
this situation where that water gets low and those steelhead are just in there, they're still in the fast current, but they're in that structure and they're in stuff that's just ripping tight to rocks or, you know what I mean? Like you saw in the video, you could totally see how clear that water was. It had a lot of speed,
Well,
But
the
it was
title of the
crystal-
video was low clear steelhead fishing.
Yeah.
It was. It was.
Sometimes that drift fish.
Do you need a dropper? I saw another question. You can move 5 feet and need a different way. Absolutely, you can. Is running a 3-way swivel. So let's talk about that, like the drift rig itself, just a little bit. So we talked about the line rod reel. Your line, whether you use a braid to a mono bumper, whether you use fluorocarbon, whatever you're doing, we're just going to say this is your main line. Huh? Oh. But there's two basic, I'll say basic, like not because they're basic, but I don't want to sound like condescending, right? There's two basic ways to rig.
2 ways I would rig
There's
it.
2 ways that you can rig a side drifting set. One is with the weight sliding, and the other one is with the weight fixed. And you can do a bunch of different ways for both. You can put droppers on both. You can do the surgical tube and pencil lead. But if you're just getting into this and you're trying to kind of feel your way around it, understand that there's a couple setups and they both kind of have their own advantages. But go to the, I know I hate to do this. Go to the, what I mean, guys, main line. Here's your little 3-way snap swivel with your pencil lead to your bait, which would be your corky, bead, eggs, whatever we're going to talk about. Or you can, oh, that sucks.
I prefer it the other way you're going to draw it here.
Or you can put a little bead right here, or you can not. You have another swivel that hangs down here with a snap, and then your lead attached to that, and then this can slide up and down the line. And so when we're talking like sliding rigs versus fixed rig, like you can attach a dropper to this like you attached it to the fixed. You can, there's a million different ways to, different weights to use, but there's really like, I can't think of anything else. Slide and fixed.
I think the sliding one's a little bit more effective for drifting because the fish can pick that gear up and the line can move through it, even though that lead's still tapping on the bottom and they don't feel
more registers to your rod.
Exactly.
Correct. You feel it better and they don't feel the pressure, so they're naturally going to keep chewing on it and bite it better.
And I can tell you this, bass techniques. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Here we go. I was rigging a technique a certain way, and another guy said,
you should get him a big T-shirt that says, I bass fish.
And then he's like, basically, you should be like Carolining the proper way.
Oh, is that what it's called? Carolining?
Carolina rigging the proper way. And he was right, because those fish pick it up. They feel it. They'll kick it out. They're smarter than you think. Trust me.
Oh wow!
And they're smarter than steelhead. So the reality is, like, if you want that more registers to your rod tip, the more the fish pulls it registers to your rod tip versus dragging the weight around.
Yeah. Old Carolina rig.
Old Carolina rig.
Old Carolina rig.
Anyway, old dragon rig.
Rigging it right,
good dragon rig. Anyways,
that's how I
did
did
There's a lot of different ways. Are you a slider? Or
that's how the slide.
See, I was always a fixed guy.
See, I'm a fixed guy if I'm bobber dogging with a float, but if I'm drifting, I'm a slider guy.
Gotcha.
Does that sound weird?
No.
No. I'd say
What are you guys?
pretty much
Fixed?
the same.
Fixed is obsolete. Does bottom feel different though? Not really. Because by the time you put the bow in your line, that sliding weight is pulling down, and it's going to absolutely...
I don't think it feels
What did I miss? Did I just totally miss something?
He said you wouldn't know about feeling the bottom.
I'm very good at feeling the bottom. Very good. In fact, I have videos of it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Low water, clear water steelhead.
What's that one called? What video is that? I haven't.
Low clear water steelhead. Check it out. Oh my gosh. you
They're
guys.
stacked.
Late night crawler.
Yeah.
fishing.
Touch 'em
I was
bottom.
gonna say, did you have like a?
See, someone else said fixed when I was young. Great talk. Learning a lot tonight. No problem, Michael. Use the cheapo snap swivel and slider setup. The lead will pull out of the cheap swivel and lose less gear. Yep.
Good idea.
Absolutely. Show people real quick, but whatever you're doing for the snap swivels, which I have a bunch, and I think, do I really need to like rig a line? Maybe I could drop for you. But here's the idea with the pencil. I'm going to just run through this real fast.
See those pliers. What's up? Nothing. You're good. Keep going.
Here's pencil lead. If you guys are unfamiliar with this at all, it's sold in very inexpensive little spools. They make a couple different sizes.
Well, they make hollow, solid.
Yeah.
Hollow, solid, 3/16. But I can tell you, like, generally for what I would always use, I'd always use the thinnest hollow stuff. It's a little easier to crimp because I got my lead pliers. And all you got to do with this stuff is take your lead pliers, clip it, crunch one end down.
Cam definitely has an OnlyFans. I didn't know that.
And if you zoom in, the little hole punch, I don't know if you guys can, oh, you guys can see that. Yeah, there you go. The little hole punch there, and you're able to make a little lead. If you make this part thin enough, that's where you'll get, that's where if you snag this on the bottom, the swivel will pull that out.
Yeah.
And so literally, and now as I'm fishing, if I go up to the run, I try to always fish a little bit heavier lead than I think because I want to make bottom contact. I want to see what's down there. I want to get my bait in front of the fish. But then if it's a little too much, I can come back here and take off a half an inch of lead and fish again. And I can do it again. And I can really dial in my leads. Now, obviously, I got an assortment, you know, when I'm going down to the river, but if it's just one guy single fishing on the bank, just super easy to do. You can figure out, and this should be your go-to, honestly, if you're going to, you know, you want to give side drifting a shot.
For sure.
Now, there's parachute cord slinkies. There's surgical tube that you can take the surgical tube, take your swivel, pull it through the surgical tube, and then use the tension of the surgical tube by shoving the lead up in there to hold it. And then if you snag that on the bottom, you know, the surgical tube will rip or the lead will pull out. Super easy.
I've even used egg sinkers in the surgical tubing, all kinds of stuff you can put in there.
One of my favorite ways was back in the day, I used to do this a freaking ton, is I would take a leader, I'd take my snap swivel, whether I'm fixed or not, hanging it down. There's my snap swivel. All I did is I had a little piece of monofilament line and I tied like a knot in the bottom of it. And then I would take split shot and I would crimp that to that line.
Yep.
Super cheap, super easy. And then I'd have, you know, like, I can't remember what size split shots, but whether it was, you know, big ones or small.
That's really,
I knew the
that's
weight.
fine tuning it.
Exactly.
Really
and as I was drifting along, and then I could pre-tie these.
Yeah.
Like I could have a bunch of these made up to where it's like, you know, it's 4B. It's a, you know, everyone's running 4s. It's exactly the same. So it made it a lot easier.
It's a 3-shot run.
Jason just showed another thing. You can take mono, tie it onto there, and then use the hollow core and just pinch it on, and you can cut it off, and that works pretty good.
A lot of times.
Yeah, so the lead is hollow core lead. So if you use this part of the, let me see.
I just did it. I should have showed it.
Oh. If you use this part, a lot of the lead punches will come with this other cutter in there that actually you can kind of see through the hole. But if you use that and you pinch that down and you pinch that off, you'll actually still have the hole in the middle of the lead, and you can slide the line down and attach it like that, and then just crimp that onto the line, making sure that you do it on this dropper line, not your main leader, obviously, but making sure it's there, and it just pops off easy too.
Yep.
So
that was my go-to when I started drift fishing.
Yep.
Bunch of different ways to attach your leads.
Yep.
But check out that video, guys, and catch 20-pound steelhead all over there. Sarge74, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Any other questions real quick? We're going to do another giveaway right now. We've got over 500 of you guys watching as we speak. And it's time for another giveaway. Any other questions? Ooh, Jason throws it down. We've got the soft bead 25mm golf balls. I mean soft bead bouncy balls in orange. Got the Addicted Fixed Floats and the DRO Blue Galaxy.
Those bees are not called orange.
Orange Dream?
Oh, sorry. Orange Dream.
Exactly.
My bad. Orange. Just freaking orange. Those are orange bees. Orange Dream.
They're dreamy.
Yeah. Any other, like I said, any other questions? Oh, I guess we didn't talk about what's at the end. But we don't need to.
The end of what?
I mean,
you can drift fish anything.
Oh, literally anything.
Bait.
Baits.
I did actually see a couple of people ask if you can drift fish a mag lip or a plug, and I've seen people do it.
Why not?
Right?
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. They dive pretty hard. They're going to be hammering the bottom a lot. I wouldn't think that would be a very effective.
Me personally,
I heard some people bobber dog plugs.
I have never thrown one of these things on the end of a drift rig.
No, I have drift fished like some really tiny spinners on fast current and in boulders and ripply water and just smashed fish doing that. Like number 3 Vibrex or, you know, and seen it just annihilate them when you can't get anything else through there.
Jay Vetter, you absolutely could do that. And a couple guys asked, like, yarnies, corkies, eggs, beads, liter pound test. Obviously lighter than your mainline setups. So if you're running like a 15 bumper, 12, 10, 8, lighter you go. Obviously, the more risk you run, but sometimes you need to do it. So just a lighter leader, it can be anything. Someone asked about fluorocarbon versus mono leaders. The fluorocarbon is going to sink a little bit more, so maybe you could actually use a little use a little longer leader because you're not going to want to have your stuff driving into the bottom, but using small corkies, okies, any kind of like a little extra float.
Pretty much
so
anything you guys are bobber dogging, drift fishing.
Anything we've been talking about on this for bobber dogging will work for drift fishing.
And I think on mainline, if you're going to run it 10 to 15 liter, 8 to 12.
The orange float coming back. I don't think the orange float ever left.
Should be in stock.
Should be in stock.
Yeah,
because I would be very disappointed. I'd be absolutely hoarding the orange floats, Logan.
Yeah, no, those will be in, if they're out of stock, there's probably more en route.
Yeah, if they're out of stock, there's probably more. Do the Dave's Tangle with free work for drift fishing?
Oh yeah,
yes, they do.
I was gonna ask the audience, but yes, it's a weight.
His stick weights. Jordan loves his stick weights. Yeah. He uses them a lot.
Yeah, the stick weights or the extra rubber coating on the outside of the steel weights being a little bigger, probably less of a chance for them to drop in rocks.
I carry everything we've mentioned when I'm drift fishing. Stick weights, Dave's Tangle Free.
Can you drift fish the worm? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can.
Yep. How much is Cam Only Friend asking for a friend? I don't think there's some of these people that aren't watching this live. But if you're not watching this live, click the little live button in the bottom left part of your corner. Click it, make sure it's red, and then you're actually watching it live. Because I saw somebody ask, like, golden ticket giveaway. I'm like, that was half an hour ago. All good. Smallest diameter leader I can get away with. Least amount of drag. Carlos, spot on, brother. Spot on.
All right, Clint, you better roll it up.
Let's do a giveaway, and then we're talking either plugs or... Oh, what the hell Ryan's talking about.
I want to hear about that thing.
Let's talk about that thing. We'll finish with plugs.
Well, that thing we're going to talk about plugs too.
We can, yeah. We'll segue into it.
Travis T, does bottom feel different though? I'm assuming you mean by the fixed the sliding float?
That's what we were talking about.
Honestly, I don't think it did much.
I don't think it does.
Your line's tight, you're getting a good drift, it feels the same. You're not going to notice it, but the fish are going to notice it when they pick it up.
Yep.
I didn't pin it for the question.
You pin it for the winner.
Yeah, it's the winner.
Yeah. But either way,
deciphering.
Thank you. Travis T, congratulations. You won the second prize pack for tonight, and it included the Orange Dream. Not orange. Orange Dream. 25 millimeter DRO soft bead, the Blue Galaxy worm, and Addicted fixed floats. We'll send that out to you if you send us your address and tell us you won the second prize pack tonight. We'll get that to you.
Yeah.
All right. Suckerfish and drifting. That's all I'll ever catch. Yes. That's always fun because those suckerfish, dude, everybody's done it. I don't care who you are. You set that hook, like, oh, I got
that'll
it.
Hunt.
Woo!
Dude, that'll fish right there. That thing's been here for a week.
That'll hunt.
Where do you want to put this? Yeah.
Clint said spin on it. It'll fish.
Okay.
All right.
So hopefully somebody asked to... I can't remember.
Tend to do the job every time. How do you rig worms for drift fishing? How do you rig them?
You can run them straight, wacky. I like running a corky on them to keep them float up.
I always ran a corky and wacky worm.
Yeah. How do we not have any of this stuff to show people?
I didn't want to bring leaders because like usually it's whenever you do bobber dogging, so I didn't bring it. I brought pencil lead and pliers.
Yeah, do you have?
That's one of the prize tags. I don't know if I have a leader, bro.
Turn the side cam on. I don't even know if we have any corkies.
I have corkies.
You got corkies? Let me see a corky.
I'm sure we can figure.
You got hook and a line?
I'm sure we can rig something up.
Yeah, that's not my.
You got any line? Any mono?
I actually think I have a bare leader in here.
they got leaders, but they're all like size 3s.
Well, these guys are getting everything ready. Why doesn't everyone in the comments comment and let us know if you're going to come to either of the sportsman shows this year? I'm curious, all the people watching, who is going to attend the Washington Sportsman Show in Puyallup, Washington, and who is going to come to the Portland or the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, Oregon? Who's coming? Let's see it in the comments. I'm just really curious how many of you guys are going to come hang out with us.
You're talking just a show in general,
Yeah.
not the bash.
Nope, just a show. Just want to see who's coming to the shows.
I'm
Just
not
wanna know
going. I'm not going to be there.
who's coming.
I don't wanna go.
Not showing
I
up
know.
this year.
I know.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so we got our worm here. Got just a simple egg loop on the hook. Corky. I like using a needle and I like threading it on usually and putting the corky down on there. But if you don't have it, you know, it's not that important. So what you can do is just thread your worm up like this.
If you guys have never seen, either Mad River has a worm threader mold that you can buy on his website that makes doing this so easy.
It's a breeze. That thing is money.
So badass.
So
money.
get it
Literally
right.
Just stick the worm in the plastic thing. Anyway, check it out, Mad River.
Get it down there.
But you can also do what Ryan did and save yourself $50 if you want.
Get the corky.
works pretty
Sometimes I like putting the corky actually right here.
So that's
how
what
I
I typically
usually
will
do
put the
yeah,
corky there.
without a threader, it's
But who am I? I'm
it's
not a
impossible. So that way, or it's gonna be tough to do this, but
The key is letting that hook dangle.
You ever put them upside down?
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get it through that same. See if I can find that same hole. Ooh, I found it. Well, basically, I'm not going to get it threaded on, but if you guys can see here, that worm will sit down like that with the corky underneath it.
And then this
Leaves
tail.
leaves that hook exposed, yeah, and the tail kind of will catch the current, and I think you get more action that way.
It's beautiful. That's a
So
beautiful thing.
that's the preferred way. Like I said, either use a threader or Marlon, you were saying they actually sell something that's super easy to thread it on there.
It's
Yeah, Mad
literally
River
a
has
mold.
it's like a mold that you like stick your worm in that has a hole on the side. You literally put your threader through the mold. It's pretty badass.
It's
Oh, nice.
perfectly centered
Nice.
every single
But that I feel like you're gonna get best hookup rate that way, and you're gonna get more life out of the worm that way.
Yep.
Pretty simple.
That's how I've always done it when I drift fish a worm.
All right.
And other than that, now we got to show everybody how to rig a bead. We got to show. I'm just
No.
kidding. No, we're not doing that.
Cool.
I think if
So
there's
what is
anything
that
else in
thing?
there
You gonna break out the plugs, or we're gonna talk about that
I think
thing?
we're going to talk about that thing.
I was thinking maybe it'd probably be better to talk about plugs because that you basically you're plug fishing with that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
so too.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Well, I got my plugs right here. Plugs. Who wants to talk about plugs? And what do you guys want to know about them?
Rod, reel, line. Go.
Rod, reel, line.
Plugs.
Start with the rod, reel, line
For-
technique.
For boat fishing like I'm doing, I like a 7.5 to 7.5 to 8.5 foot rod for pulling plugs from a boat. Like a kind of a medium to light tip and a heavy backbone to set them hooks into the fish when a fish grabs it. Yeah.
Definitely
this
want a
have-
soft enough rod. You know what the best back in the day? Those
See-
old fiberglass. They were fiberglass one piece
Yeah.
Fenwicks, and I'm still to this day with all the technology and everything. Those rods are just super effective for the plug takedowns. I feel like.
Yeah, I like the 8 to 17 pound rating for pretty much everything. They can handle the light plugs. They have, a light enough tip to let the lighter plugs work in some of them lighter, water conditions that you're going to be fishing them in, lower, clearer, small plugs. So, yeah,
Yep.
that's
the
it.
worm threader.
Wacky.
And
one
that thing
threader. I feel like I need
is
that for
dialed.
Sweet.
It's pretty sweet.
For bass.
that. You said
Oh
it
my
on
gosh.
me. Just kidding. Actually not.
One thing I was gonna say on the
It's really
rods,
nice. It makes it so easy.
I've seen it so many times. I like to see my plug rod soft enough. I want to see the middle of that rod. I call it the gallop. If I'm only just wiggling the tip, I feel like that rod's too stiff. If I see the middle of that rod just dancing a little bit and it's like a gallop, that's the rod I'm going to fish because it's letting that plug do its natural thing. And I pulled plugs for a lot of years, and I've definitely noticed those rods catch more fish regardless of what plug's on the end of it.
More of a parabolic bend.
Yeah, well, just more soft in that middle section. Still has some meat in the back of it, but I want a sensitive tip, soft in the middle, and let that thing work.
Yeah.
And I'm super picky on my plug rods, and I've noticed lately that you just get like these rods where it's only moving in that much of the tip, and all you're getting is this aggressive, sporadic wiggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I've definitely seen it in a couple of different of the plug rods that I've used over the handful of years that I've been fishing, and the lighter rods definitely play a factor into actually sinking the hook into the fish. And I feel like the hook to land ratio on the lighter rods is a little bit better.
Definitely, because they crush those things. They're not like they're coming up and licking them or chewing on them. They are smashing them.
Yeah.
So if your rod's too stiff in that midsection, I feel like the hooks are tearing out and it's just not really getting them where you want them.
That's where with the smaller plugs, that lighter rod, like you were saying, how it has that bend all the way through, can really help.
But I mean, also when you talk about heavier rods, I think you're talking like slower action rods rods that will bend from the tip all the way down. You don't want a rod that just like goes from like you said, where it's only wiggling the top foot of the rod.
Yeah.
You know, you want something slow when the fish grabs it, really can wrench that rod down.
Load it all up.
Slow to medium action, those fast action rods just seem to be
the extra fast tip.
Yeah.
Extra fast tip is nice to have, but the medium backbone is nice.
Yeah.
They don't want a broomstick.
Yeah.
Line and reel. Like I know, wait, real fast too. Guys, I saw this question a bunch. Bank for plugs? Bank fish.
We'll
plugs?
talk about that here in a second.
We're going to talk about that here in a second. Good point. So right now we're talking boat fishing plugs. Ryan's going to talk about bank fishing plugs.
I saw the question, a bait caster, spinning reel, always been a bait caster guy.
Line counter?
Yeah, line counters for sure.
Yeah.
Before we used to just put bobber stops, before they had them bobber stops, or we'd put a little Sharpie and Sharpie the line.
I was going to say I've Sharpied the line before I had line counters or put a
Why are you
bobber
doing
stop
that?
on them. Just to have a gauge on how far out your plugs are. So
why do you give a damn?
Well, so the way that these plugs work is you're pushing the fish back from the head of the hole. So when you go to plug around, you want to start at the top. Well, yeah, you want to start at the top and end at the bottom, right? And the goal of these things are pushing the fish back and back and back and back and back to where they're going to have a fight or flight moment. Yep, bring it out. To where they have a fight or flight moment where they're going to bite or they're going to swim downriver. And a lot of times you'll get your bites in the last 10, 15
love backing
feet
them
of the
into that
drift.
tail.
And it's literally the most chaotic scene ever because you're at the end of the run and you got 2, 3, 4 plug rods out and the fish smacks it and you're at the end of the run. So you're like trying to get off of everything, trying to get all the rods cleared. It's a chaotic show.
This is the reason why they're putting the bobber stops, or they want to use the line counters, guys, because if you're utilizing this from a boat, drift boat, raft, whatever,
that's the wall of death.
Yeah,
that's
the wall of
death. A lot of times for me, if I'm running 4, I'm putting this one up here and this one up here.
Yep.
And I've noticed a lot. If they're aggressive and they want to bite, they're going to grab these back two. I don't want them all because I've seen it so many times. Those fish are going around the boat, around those back plugs. And when they make their move to go forward, they see one more and they can't take it because they're actually on a mission to move and they're kind of spooking around.
So I started doing that just with 2 plug rods.
Yeah.
And I start, like, if I notice current's heavy on the left side, I'll run the left or deeper.
Yep.
I'll run that left side a little bit longer and I'll run the right side, 2, 3, 4 feet shorter.
Yeah.
Just so if they do try and escape that plug, they got that other one in their face like that.
I like the wall of death technique if I'm more stationary, like boat plunking, or I'm not moving where I'm just looking for traveling fish coming up the river. If I'm backing down, I'm going to take that stagger I don't know what you want to call it, this stagger pattern over the wall of death myself.
Yeah.
Someone was asking, like, how do you keep the plugs down? Well, a lot of these plugs are going to be buoyant, and as the current pulls on them this year, because even though the current's going this way, you're not going the speed of the current. You're going slower than the current. So the plugs, the lips will catch and start to dive down just under their natural action. And somebody also asked, do you run a diver in front of your plug?
Sometimes.
You can as an insurance policy, and basically what that setup would look like, guys, is main line here. I don't know if you guys would. I would run a dropper, like a 6-inch dropper or slider with a 20. So we're gonna do a swivel, and this goes back. Oh my God, I'm gonna try to draw a plug with like upside down. There's my plug. There it is.
Love it.
I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
The only time I'm going to run that is if the current's super heavy or I'm trying to get deeper into a hole that the plug's just not diving. You know, a lot of these plugs, they're going to go 6 to 10 feet, 6 to 12 feet. I like the mag lips. They seem to run better in all the different currents.
For sure.
You know, the smaller plugs are good. The tad pulleys and the smaller plugs like this are good for that summer run, lighter water where you're not banging that plug on the bottom too much. But the super heavy current, that diver technique is money because you're fishing stuff that plug won't stay down in.
Yeah.
So if you're going to run a diver, guys, you're going to want to have probably about between 3 and 5 feet of leader here. Pretty heavy leader. It's not a technique that you're going to want to run 8-pound test on. If they're going to come after that plug and be aggressive, it's not like the dissecting, like, do I want to nibble on that?
Yeah, they're not
they're coming for blood. So, but then what I'll do here is I'll run like a 6 to 12-inch diver length, and this will be like a size 20 jet diver or a size 30 jet diver. It's better to have, honestly, the little deeper diver ones, because if you're in that situation where you're going to run divers, I mean, honestly, like anything out in the Columbia that I'm fishing, like with a Brad's Killer Fish as a plug, and if I'm diving over 12 feet, I just use the 50s.
Yep.
Like now, you probably don't want to use the 50s because they're going to drag really heavy on your steelhead rods if you're steelhead fishing in small water. But the idea is that you use a little more.
Yep.
Right? Just having a little more is not going to hurt you. So a 20 or 30 foot depth diver, even if you're only fishing in 6 to 10 feet of water, this thing is going to continue. This thing is going to run that bait down to the bottom, and you're always going to have a good insurance policy that guy is staying on the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
There's a setup right there.
Look at this.
Yep.
There's a diver, got the dropper, got a slider, back to about a 4-foot leader, 4.5-foot leader, back to a mag lip. And then like he's saying, that's a Brad's diver there. I like the Jet 20s, generally
Brad's divers
speaking.
are great divers too. They make the big mud bugs too.
They make
awesome.
the mud bugs.
Yeah.
This is the smaller one. A lot of times in that situation, either run the Magnum or the mud bug or the Jet divers, but that's pretty much what it looks like there. And that's going to pull, and that's going to keep this down in the fish zone.
Braided line or mono?
Braid all day.
Braid all day.
Yeah,
Braid all day.
Braid for me.
Braid
High
all
vis
day.
too.
High vis braid all day.
High vis with a 25-pound ultra
We're
green
talking about
bumper.
side planers and bits.
Yeah, we got to talk about that, Marlon, too. I got to get some.
Okay,
I'm running the slick on these. The blue, I can't even see it.
No, so a smaller assortment of plugs would be like Mag 3.5s,
K11,
K11, smaller
X4, K9, Tad Poly.
Tad Poly.
Can't go wrong with the Tad Poly.
Tad Polys, man, you just run
Man,
these
those things are swimmers.
Yeah, you can go 25 miles an hour and keep them in the water and they dive down. So you guys can get the idea. These are all smaller type steelhead plugs.
I'm gonna show off. That's like what's in my boat for winter steelhead. That's kind of your more colored water.
Those are all
3.5s. I have almost the same colors in 3.0s.
There's a 3.0.
3.0, 3.5s.
And then here's some more clean water stuff.
You guys get the idea.
Metallics, blues, chromes. Pretty standard. You can see what I run. I definitely like the mag lips.
You got some customs in here.
Oh, yeah. But I wanted to show this one. This plug here has caught upwards of 500 steelhead. I've lost it multiple times, regained it back, like quit fishing for the day. When you have something like this, literally all the pain is gone, And a lot of times it's not the color of the plug. I've noticed you find one that just wiggles right and fish that plug. I don't care what the color is.
That's called a worker.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, guys, I just got a text from Jared over at Yakima. He wants to give away a Yakima prize pack. So he's going to give away a bunch of stuff from Yakima, some spin glows, some mag lips, some corkies. He's got a whole bunch of stuff he's going to throw in the package. So if you guys want an opportunity to win a nice little prize from our sponsors at Yakima Bait, I want you guys to comment what your favorite color mag lip is in the comments. What is your favorite color mag lip? Or if it's not a mag lip, it's just a plug that you love. What is your favorite color plug? In the comments, drop a comment below, thumbs up the video, and guys, let's share this out there. Let's get some more people in here. I feel like we've been consistently kind of hanging at that 550 viewers every single week.
Yeah, it's been right there, huh?
We got to get that over, dude. We got to get that up to like 750 every week. So.
We got to bump them numbers up.
Share it out there, folks.
Rookie numbers.
Help us out. Because I'm not in these things anymore. If I was in there, there'd be a lot more people.
How would you attach a single hook, barrel swivel?
What are they asking?
Someone asked how you attach a single hook.
Snap
if you have
ring.
one rig, then you can grab that one too on the wall.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead and go through that, guys.
Ooh. Little 6-beater. Little 6-bead chain from the center to a correct?
That was weird.
Yeah, it's a 2-aught Big River.
Big River.
And then that's the other way I like to run them.
That's how I'll rig them if I got to run a single point. And then
Super chat.
this is how I rig them with the treble hook. Just a double snap ring.
Thank you for the super chat, 𝗛𝗥𝗃. Appreciate it.
And
I can't read it.
Any consideration?
We're gonna go through two different. We're gonna go through plunking and side planning here in just a bit. We're just kind of running through basics on plugs and then a little bit of boat stuff, and then we'll switch over to bank only plug fishing.
yeah, so I mean,
But this stuff where they're talking about your hook setup, sorry to interrupt you. Talking about this applies for both.
I mean, literally, it's just for what your regulations are, really. I mean, if you got to fish a single point hook, that's definitely the way to run it with that snap ring, barrel swivel to the hook. And usually on the 3.5s, a 2-aught Big River or a 3-aught Big River.
You want a stout hook. These fish are...
When I swap them over, I run a 3-aught on my 3.5s.
Yep.
On the 3.0s, I'll run a 2-aught. But, yeah, when I have to. I like the single treble out the back. I've had a lot of success with this. And a lot of times it just clamps their mouth shut.
Yeah. But definitely a stout hook I recommend everybody out there. You want something that's heavy because these fish, when that plug's in their face, they fight extra hard. Like I feel like when I'm catching fish on beads, it's kind of like when that pro troll's chasing the salmon. They freak out more, the rattle's in their face, and you want to be able to keep that fish contained somewhat.
So for the single point hook, I like the Big Rivers like you do.
Yeah.
And then for the trebles, I really, really like these, the owner stingers. Stinger hooks.
I run the KVDs. I'm KVD all the way on the mustads.
Mm-hmm. But
a lot of good
grips.
A lot of good options out there. I like that sickle bend.
See, the way it bends in, they're just
they
freaking
just
pins them, dude.
Should probably try them guys out.
Yeah, and they're
you've been
just
hanging
such
out with us long enough. I'm surprised you haven't.
I know, right?
That's because they're hard to get, and so we hoard them.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
true.
Anytime they come available, I try to suck them all
They
up.
won't let me have any. They want them all for themselves.
You got to watch it with those KVDs. There's a lot of knockoffs on the internet. Like you gotta make sure you're getting the true mustad hook. I've ordered some in 1,000 packs and got them, and I'm like,
this ain't that.
That's like a Korean KVD. You know what I mean?
You know, it's crazy. Like when we fished with KVD, he gets in the front of the sled. The first thing he does is he was going to throw jerk baits for coho.
Yeah.
First thing he does, he freaking
switched all his hooks out.
Switched all those hooks out. Absolutely.
Yep.
Bass fishing. My favorite jerk bait. I'm not going to say which one. Ditch pickling. I fished a whole tournament and lost like multiple heartbreakers on it.
Oh yeah,
multiple as a tournament I was fishing with ladies. It's like the only tournament I really just bombed in this year because I lost like my 5.
You didn't switch your hooks.
Didn't switch my hooks. I switched my hooks the next tournament, dude, and it made all the difference.
That extra
so I've seen this question a lot
crazy.
since you guys have been I've seen this question a lot since you guys have been talking. For some reason, Clint hasn't pinned it, but
Yeah, he's on. Is he on his phone?
he's actually doing a really.
Is he
Clint. Hey, to be fair, Clint's been doing a really good job tonight, and we haven't really been taking shots at him. So I kind of wanted to take a shot at him.
Oh, it's been a while.
We were due. We were due.
Okay.
We were due.
Overdue for a Clint shot.
Regardless, what about scents? Like, what kind of scents are you running on your plugs? Do you run any? Do you think it works? Do you?
Oh yeah.
What's your opinion with scents on plugs?
You go first. I got opinions on it, but
I can't wait to say what I'm going to say.
I saw a lot of comments.
I honestly, I don't think scent is the make or break difference. Just because of the presentation itself. I mean, it's an aggression bite. I mean, but if you can use scent, why not? I mean, it's just an additive. It's just something else to make that agitation presentation seem more enticing.
I'm more looking at the scent to kind of let that fish grab it more solid. For me, I feel like I want that fish, instead of just, you know how they just swipe at plugs, I want them to come up and actually put their mouth on it more like it's bait. I'm big on like the gels, smelly jelly, I like shrimp anise.
Yeah.
And then you got to watch like the
Steelhead blend.
Well,
always.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say from where that came from, though, is like, so I think like what you're talking about is spot on. Like when you're in a river and you're like forcing a fish to bite your gear, I think it's completely different than when you're fishing, like, for instance, like the Columbia.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, like, and to me, it's as much of a difference as if you're running a Brad super bait with tuna in it and you're running one without. I don't give a crap what you say.
I'll take scent.
The scent is going to do it. And in the Columbia, where fish can move around a little bit, you're on big, wide flats. Like any opportunity that I have to wrap either prawn, a sand shrimp, or a millennial coon shrimp on there, like absolutely will outfish non-scented 10-1 in the Columbia. No question.
Even on small streams.
Not a debate.
I'm gonna scent up every time now with these like tadpoles, smaller plugs, 3/0s. You got to watch it because you're looking for that. You want that good tune and that good wiggle going, keeping that plug
kill
straight.
your action. Yeah.
But I notice like on the 3/5s or the 4/0s, I'm wrapping them with prawn, coon shrimp.
Even the 3.0s you can wrap with a little coon shrimp.
You can put a little bit on there, but if it's a smaller plug, I like putting the scent on it.
That's why that's all marked up.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
but some areas you can't. Let's be honest. Some areas no scent, no bait.
When applicable.
Yeah.
So, it's always.
You got to say that always, huh?
When applicable.
Well,
because someone's gonna be like, "Oh, well, I was running scent and I got a ticket." And
Nick did.
Well, you got to check. You got to check your regulations.
Oh, trust me. If we do anything wrong, like we have people that watch us like every single day.
Yeah.
That will absolutely like let enforcement know, and then enforcement will just let us know that they're watching us, and it's actually we all have a good laugh. So, but we're applicable. We're legal to do so.
Appreciate you watching out there,
Appreciate
haters.
you watching, guys. Boom. Thank you.
Don't you have that bottle of Procure UV, like just straight UV that you?
Yeah, Cameron's favorite. He has spray UV actually. He sprays on everything.
Yeah, for his bass lures.
Bass particularly. Bass are very, very
before
UV.
a bass tournament,
UV blast or whatever.
Before a bass tournament, I take UV and just
take a shower in it.
Wash down. It's
like
I don't want to take a chance of touching a lure and actually taking the UV off. So I make sure I have a coat of UV as well on my gear to make sure that it's got UV.
I want to see him under a black light.
It's like drinking anise.
We're taking him to Portland to one of those dancing clubs.
Okay. Oh my!
Definitely taking you to the dancing club.
Well, the wrong scent turned fish off. Yeah, I think when it comes to scents, you probably want to stay in the bucket. But garlic, no. You say go ahead and tell me garlic on summer Chinook. We'll put garlic scented plugs out for summer Chinook at certain times and others, and we'll see what the hell happens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But at certain times, there's times.
Why would you say that?
Go and figure out the time. Go spend 250 days in the water. Figure out the time. Talk to me. I don't really care. Garlic works.
What I was gonna
garlic
say,
doesn't work everyone at all. Never works.
Procure makes garlic. Procure makes bloody tuna. They make addicted steelhead blend, bro. I put that in my coon shrimp for like 10 years before we put that out.
That's true.
Break.
That's true.
Anyways.
One thing I will say on scent is, for me, when I got clients that are eating jerky, they're reaching in, touching everything, sometimes it's just a cover-up scent.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just getting that human odor.
Something better.
Not on the gear. And I think that adds to a few more fish every time I go out. So,
anus.
Could be superstition.
That slider that you have on that, those are junk.
Oh, yeah.
Those things break like.
Yeah.
bad.
How many sturgeon weights do you want to lose in a day?
Exactly.
No, you don't use these for sturgeon. These are for divers only.
You do for one time.
No, they'll cut right through it and snap off.
I freaking used them one time, the bigger ones.
Yeah.
I was really mad at the end of the day.
I've caught many steelhead with garlic, dipping glow.
All right, Clint, let's pick a winner for the Yakima Bait prize pack. And huge shout out to Yakima Bait. As you guys know, we're partnered with them. We love those guys over there. So,
yeah, Jared's all right.
there you
He's
go.
all right guy.
My favorite is American Flag Colors.
Oh, Hannah Kadler.
Shout out to
Congratulations. You won the Yakima prize pack by Mr. Jared. I think he's going to send that to you.
Yep, he's going to send it. So shoot us an email to orders@addicted.fishing.
Fishing.
Use your name, your address, and let us know that you won the Yakima pack. And we'll get your information over to them so they can ship it.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Cigar smoke is my scent
Scroll
of
up real quick.
choice.
There you go, boy.
Scroll up.
Nick, I got in this huge argument with Nick about that. He's like, Steelhead loves cigarette smoke. He stands by it. He thinks it helps him catch more fish.
Don't.
Well, I
Man, I
can
used
tell you
to-
right
I used
now,
to
with how
smoke.
much Nick smokes, like I can guarantee you that like it doesn't hurt him
I was going
because
to
he
say, I
catches
do
freaking a
not,
ton of steelhead.
do not think they care.
What if it's one of those things like fishing a plug, you'll catch fish, but if you didn't have cigarette smoke, how many more
would Nick catch?
Well, I don't know anybody catches more than him down there, so you know what? I'll just go
But
with
has
it.
Nick ever done it without cigarette smoke?
Hey,
The answer to that is no.
So I smoke.
The answer to that
The
is
answer to that
guaranteed
is
no.
Listen, I smoke just like Nick. Like I had a cigarette all the time for years and years.
Don't smoke,
and,
kids.
And I caught a lot of fish. And when I quit, clients were like, "Oh, we're
Are
not
you
going
okay?
out. Bring me packs of
We
cigarettes."
need you to
They're
hit a
like,
cigarette, bro.
"Oh, dude, you catch way less fish now that you don't smoke." I'm like, "So you guys are saying the smoke scent is what's helping?"
Okay, first off, we're not
Not
advocating or
endorsing.
condoning or endorsing smoking.
Yeah,
Smoking's
There was
disgusting.
way more fish back then. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
but I don't
What
know.
we're saying is that maybe even when we talk about cover scents, obviously a steelhead does not know what a cigarette smells like, let alone do they not know? Probably they don't know what a bloody tuna smells like,
I've
or
even-
garlic,
I've seen
or anise.
the
They
cigarette
probably
butts
don't
in their
know what they all
stomach.
smell like, but they do eat it. And
Right.
chances are, if it's in Nick's boat, it probably smells like cigarettes.
Yeah.
So they do eat it. And that's the point. But it's covering a human scent, which then again, they don't know what human scent is, but those studies
Wait,
that say
does
that...
he take his glove off to smoke?
No.
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 For as much as he smokes.
This guy never takes his
I
gloves
know.
off.
Okay. We got a super chat.
I think she's the winner.
Oh, Hannah, email your name and say that you won the Yakima Bait prize back to
Wait,
Dude,
at
so she
orders?
won.
Did
That's
she
the
win
second
twice?
Time. That's the second time she's won
No,
tonight.
no.
Yeah. She won the second one.
What'd she just win?
The Yakima prize pack.
She didn't win twice, did
But
she?
she won the
What do you
second-
mean? That's not the person for the Yakima. We already picked that.
I thought that's what we were
That's
just
who-
picking.
No, that's who you picked for
No.
Yakima. No, you're right.
No, she won the
I
first prize
just
pack.
told the person email orders before you pin that.
Yeah, but wasn't that the winner?
Not that person. No, it was someone else.
Okay.
The person said they like their shit America.
That
red,
was
white, and
her.
blue.
That was her. The American flag comment was her.
Oh.
I'm
Well, why are you
assuming
pinning
it's
another
her.
comment of her?
Because I think she missed. We got so
She
distracted.
missed. I don't think I told her email. So Hannah,
I did.
you did win because you did make the American flag comment
I'm
on
so
the Yakima
confused
Bait
right now.
prize packet. You're good there. Email orders@addicted.fishing. Tell us that you won the Yakima Bait prize pack and include your address. We'll get that to Jared, and they'll send you the prize pack. Hopefully that cleared that up. I think.
If not, whatever.
She did say the American flag one. That was
Yeah,
the
but
Yakima
I
Bait
don't
one.
I
know,
think
it was
she
the
won
same
the first
person.
prize
She
pack.
won
too.
too. She did.
Yeah.
That I
She-
don't remember.
people-
Well, it doesn't matter. It's random. So if she won twice,
If
she
it's
won
random, then
twice.
she's commenting a lot. Good job. That's what made you
Yeah.
win. So
That,
there you go.
that is the true
Yeah, so-
wonder of the randomizer.
That is the randomizer.
It picked
Pair-
Sharon once.
It picked Marlon's wife once too, but we ex-nayed that. It's just all right.
$20
Yeah. Pair character dancing under a rain of confetti and taking his hat off. You are amazing. So what happens there, guys?
Oh, that's a super
You
sticker.
didn't type that
That's
out.
a super sticker.
It's a super sticker. It doesn't show us that, but it spells out what the sticker he chose was. So if you can all imagine real fast for me.
I was like,
there
is
with
this a
confetti,
joke?
Taking his hat off saying you are amazing. There you go. Jared said, just imagine it, okay? Go walk with us. This is our high-value production right now.
Imagination.
Jared
Best day
Higginbotham-
of her life.
Jared Higginbotham says, congrats, Hannah. I love American flag colors, too. That's your guy, Hannah, Jared, Hannah. Send her the gear. Awesome.
Uh-oh, bunch of it's rigged.
It's rigged. So did she win the first one?
Yes.
It was either the first or the
It was
second
the first one.
So, Hannah, did you win 2 prize packs
She
tonight?
says best day
Yes.
of her life, so I'm assuming she did.
My first tattoo will be 80X, I promise. Did you win 2 tonight?
I think she did.
She did.
actually.
I don't think she did.
She won the first one and she won the Yakima bait one.
Well, she's commenting a lot. That's what
There's
happens.
nothing I can.
Hey, it's random.
You can do
I don't
better.
tell you.
Beauty of the randomizer, man.
It's random. It's random, guys.
Literally.
It's random. If you comment a lot, every time you comment, you get entered into the randomizer. That's how it works. So you can all say, "Yep, it's rigged," but that's what it is.
I mean, that's the whole point. Like, if someone comments,
Wait, are my chances of winning increased with the more comments I make?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. If you buy
Why do you
one
think we
lottery
ask all these
ticket,
questions?
you know,
Yeah, exactly. If you buy 2 lottery tickets, your chances doubled.
Back to that
There you
wintergreen
go.
question. I actually have literally took a chew of wintergreen and then rubbed my fingers on the plug to give it a minty scent, and I got bit on that plug. Literally right after I put it down.
I've got a sturgeon story. Back in my department days, I was fishing with another buddy from the Oregon department. We were up at Monteville fishing keepers. And it's a hot, sunny day because that was back when we actually had sturgeon before seals killed them all. Anyways, fishing keepers, and he was going bald. So he like puts banana boat sunscreen and just
Oh, the worst.
does this. And I looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? Like, don't touch my rods and gear. And I told him like, and he goes, oh man, I don't believe that crap. Da, 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 da. I swear to God, he takes his smelt at that time, his fishing smelt.
Yeah.
Takes a bead of banana boat. I can't remember the SPF. Fucking puts it on, throws it down, and catches a keeper like now. I kid you not. Banana boat, slathered it because he wouldn't believe me that I was like giving him crap over the sunscreen. Threw it out, next fish, boom, keeper. I kid you not.
I can believe it maybe on sturgeon, but I'm like that's
Ever
one of,
since then, Cameron's been using banana boat.
that's one of my
That's
things.
his
Like
secret
for
scent on
I
his
think
salmon,
we
boat.
killed 10% of the quota up there, boys.
hey, for salmon, I've seen it kill my boat before. Salmon fishing.
I think, you know, it's funny. Like people get in my boat and bananas, don't care.
Yeah.
Chicken, don't
Don't
really
care.
care. Cigarettes,
Sunscreen?
don't care.
Aerosol's the worst.
Sunscreen. If you look at someone who puts sunscreen on their hands and then they touch the graphite rods and they're
Oh,
right
God.
with your
Oh, it
polarized
just
glasses,
glows.
you can see it.
Mhm.
Sunscreen is chemically engineered to stick to stuff when wet.
Yep.
Probably like that's the only thing.
You ask
That
my
I forgot
wife
about.
when she helps me in the summertime when we're fishing, we'll get in there with our headlamps in the dark, and all of a sudden I'll see the gunnels, the rods, the seats. I'm like, stop! Don't touch anything. Get the lemon joy out, and literally
Especially like up in July, like when you're frying.
we scrub everything down before, and I'm telling you, if not, it's a difference.
Yeah.
So aerosol's the worst because it's getting on everybody,
yeah.
everything. So we have these. Actually, they look like deodorant sticks now. And if someone pulls a can out, we stop them and hand them that because at least it doesn't get everywhere.
Right.
free sunscreen is every guided trip. Right.
Oh, yeah, everybody else will chip in and supply the bottles.
Sunscreen's included.
I'd rather us catch fish and hand them the right stuff than kind of kill the day for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. So we talked a little bit about plug hookups. We talked about the rod and the reel on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Talked a little bit about technique, like the idea that you're trying to do. You're trying to run it down. How do guys out there fish plugs from the bank? There's 2 ways.
We're breaking it out.
Break
Breaking
it
it
out,
out.
buddy.
Well, the first way is casting it out there. You can cast a plug out there, same as we talked about plunking last week with a dropper.
Okay.
Here's your board.
I'm like, let's just do this. Then
Diagrams.
we'll knock this out of the way because we talked. And for those guys that tuned in this week, and while learn more about plunking, please refer back to last week's episode. It's on our YouTube channel. You can check it out.
There's also some really, really good tutorial videos about plunking plugs and plunking all sorts of setups on the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yes.
I did one.
Tons.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, if you guys go there, check it out. There's some good tutorials on addictive fishing where I go out. I think I plunk a
Some good-
spinning glow coon shrimp. And I think
there's
I
a specific video just about plugs that has
just
100,000
about plugs.
views.
Has 100,000 views. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Marlon's saying.
High water bank fishing.
Yep, it's got some good stuff on there. Someone actually, it's funny because someone just commented on it, like literally, like a couple minutes ago. They said, "I love this video, but this guy is horrible about getting to the point. Blah 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 blah. You talk too much." That's what he commented.
Don't watch the video, bro. I'm not a YouTuber.
People
sorry.
always do that. They'll literally they serve up a compliment and then serve up a diss in the exact same comment. It's like, I
Still
love
watch
this
the
video,
video.
but this guy talks too much. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, what do you actually like the video or do you think he talks too much?
Yeah, they don't even know.
I'm confused.
Huh.
It's like, but either way, thanks for the view.
We got paid.
Still watching.
We made like 1/10 of 1/100th of a percent of a penny.
$0.0001.
Yes. All right.
So you're talking casting it out there.
You can cast it out there, and you can just run a plug just like this. Everybody, boom, right there on the bottom.
Yes.
Triangle head. Cast
Make
it
sure,
out.
I recommend when you're casting out a plug, it's going to dive, so it's not going to be like your spin and glow setup where it's just going to be a shorter dropper. A lot of times, I'm like 3 and 5 on that.
Yeah.
I'll put like a 2
So
to 3.
a longer dropper here.
Yeah, because I don't want my plug just beating into the rocks all the time. I want that thing working and just barely touching the bottom
So
every
if you
once in a while.
If you run like a 2 foot here, I'd run like a 3 there. If you run a 3 foot here, I'd run like a 4 there. Maybe like
I'm
a
3,
foot longer.
5,
3,
2,
5.
2, and 4.
Okay.
There. Now everybody knows.
And
It's 2 and 4.
I
Go 1 and
prefer,
5,
I
honestly.
prefer like
Oh,
you
1
just
and 5
talked.
on.
That's how I run it. Whenever I do that.
I'm just joking, but you guys get the idea. Is that keep in mind, like versus a
One's too
spinning
short.
glow, where you
Should be
have
2.
where you have a spinning glow where you want to have a short dropper because it is going to float a
where
little
you're
bit. This guy's going to sink. So having a little longer dropper to where that plug is going to dive down, you don't want it just like kind of running like on the bottom. You want it kind of coming up. If it
Honestly,
makes bottom contact, it's a little better.
That 10% is if you get it fine tuned, you want that thing wiggle, 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 boom. You'll see it stop and slow down. That's when that fish is going to react
You
on
see
it.
that rod tip bouncing, boom.
If it's just working,
Bouncing, boom.
if it's working nonstop,
drop.
you're not going to catch as many fish. I've seen it, so that's the 10% on the plug plunking. Another thing I think is
I have such a hard time plunking plugs because I'm always just sitting there going, that thing's not working. I mean, it's not working. I'm just
But the
always
rod
tripped out
tip
about whether it's
wiggles. You
working.
know if it's working.
You know,
versus
yeah.
a
Yeah,
spinning
but
glow that
there's something
grasses
on
up.
it. I don't know.
one thing I prefer to slide it down. I like getting my weight
Cast
out
the
there,
weight
getting
out
where I
there
want it,
first.
and sliding the plug down like you mentioned, Cameron, is I put a bead on, put a little bead on your drawing.
So there's another way you guys can cast out. Like, so let's say this is a 6-inch dropper here at the bottom. And now I'm making a very quick spin and glow and bait. You can actually take a plug, and if you tie a couple feet above the line, another swivel in it, and have a larger bead here. And the larger bead that sits there is so when you attach a duo snap to your line, that goes back to a plug. So you cast out the spin and glow. Then you take this snap and you hook like a 3-foot leader onto the main line, and then drop your rod tip down. Let that plug swing out into the current, and it will slide down until it hits that bead. And then that duo snap can't pass the bead and get into your spin and glow and tangle up your gear.
Well, we also talked about, remember, make sure this leader is shorter than what your distance is on your dropper or your leader below, or you will tangle it because it's going to dive.
Oh, this leader here.
Yeah, the leader on your plug needs
Yeah, I
to be.
feel like
Even when you're sliding it down the line.
if you're sliding
yeah.
it down the line, like I actually will run a longer one. And the reason why is because this is so high up a lot of times. Like sometimes I'm putting like 3 to 4 to 5 feet here, that if I'm using a little extra line because I'm getting it back behind that bait, and of course keep in mind you're also to the side, right? So you're not, like I said, if I'm casting that plug, oh God, no, you can't have a longer leader there. there.
Yeah.
But if you're sliding it down, I don't know, man.
Just depends. Like I've plunked on spots where you're on a rock point where you're dropping it pretty much like 2 feet down. That thing's longer. It's just getting into your gear. So
if you're not more to the side, you're
yeah.
straight up
If
and
you're
down,
lead and your gear's laid out, yeah, the longer one it can work. But if your angle's more steeper on your lead and your presentation, then I recommend going shorter on that.
Attach a small cannonball snap to help sink the plug. Yes, so like the snaps that people make, sometimes they'll take like they'll take a snap, and they'll either take like some pencil lead or something like that, and they can put it up on their main line and have it run down. Guys have created and made ones that have like a swivel with an egg sinker like in the swivel. I've also seen guys use bobber weights as long as they have the ones that the wires like go through.
Yeah.
And then they have a duo snap attached to that grabs the main line. I know that's like kind of hard to understand, but you guys get the idea. Having a little extra weight on the snap helps slide that line down, not just the action of the plug will help too.
Or walk up river a little bit.
Walk up river or just kind of
yeah.
put that tip up and feed a little line, and it seems to get that plug to
Generally, once you get it going, like once you kind of like slide it out, and you'll see this because I believe I do that in that tutorial video. You'll see the tip working. Like you should be able to look up, and if it's way out there, guys are running lines. It's not as pronounced, but you should be able to see that tip like wiggling and working in the current, letting you know that everything's functioning right.
Yeah.
So that's one way from the bank, guys. And like I said, for other plunking tips and everything, check back. Go to the YouTube Addicted Fishing channel, go to the live feeds, and you can see last week's 2.5-hour discussion on plunking. All right, side planer, I think.
Let's rip it out. Hoo-hoo.
Here's a side planer. This one is a lot fancier than you see a lot of the little pink ones that are cheaper. This
What
one's
in God's name is that?
Yeah, that's what I said when you pull it out.
this one has like Dacron line. You can set it in the water. You can adjust putting this fin on either side, whatever side of the bank you're on.
Show people that on the side cam, or go up to the camera because it's hard to see the yellow. Maybe go up to the main. Like go to the get up in front. I'm feeling what the.
Yeah.
This one's called Bank East Planer. It's a good one. It's definitely a quality unit here. There's 2 ways. So you're going to let this out by letting this line out, get it in the current, and all of a sudden it'll pay out. This one has 2 different features you can use. It has this little flip thing with a weight. You can cast your plug out in the river, and it'll hit this, come up. Your line catches on here. You can back your plug down by letting more line out, but when a fish grabs it, this little strike indicator thing here, it'll just kind of pop that line, and you're free of that planer. And then you just walk it in, land your fish down below. The other way, you want to unhook one of those for me? Mm-hmm.
What is that thing? A kite?
They come with these little rings. Has like a downrigger clip on the back. What you're gonna do is clip that on the back. You put your line through there, and as you're paying it out, you can actually just keep letting that plug work down the section of river, and when the fish grabs it, it pops it free, and this just slides down to your plug, and you're free and clear. And this is a great. It's a little bit more expensive, but these things hold good in the heavier current and the stuff a lot better than the other ones that are constantly popping out of the water. I see guys struggling with them. Yeah.
That thing's crazy. I've never even seen that thing.
I've never seen one like that.
I mean, it's huge. It's big.
Yeah.
It's the one you want.
Well, it's not attached to your rod, though.
No, and then the other thing, you can have another rod that's attached to this, but this is definitely going to fish. If you're into the bank fishing, this is the one you want. So.
No steelhead could fly.
Everyone laughed at triangle flashers and pro trolls, and now look at them.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm just.
Oh, he just told Mike drop, bro. Shut your mouth. Over.
That's the side planer.
Okay, I'm trying to draw my epicness. Like, so people can kind of get the idea. Because I have no idea. Current's flowing that way. There's the run. So is this correct? Like, how do you? And so then I guess like by letting more line out would make that plug dive deeper.
Well, and you can work it down the
down.
section of the bank instead of just the plug sitting there. You can actually
Oh,
let the line out
and then
you're back trolling it just like it's a boat.
Yeah. And so this is stationary. You just stake that.
This one's
thing in the
stationary. You
ground.
find the seam or the current area you want to work by letting this much. The more you let out here.
Feed that out.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you can feed the plug through it. Where the other planers, you have to lock it in, and basically it's just sitting out there, and you can't back your gear down.
Yeah.
Now you can run a bait diver off this. You can run a plug, and it's basically
But
more.
I was thinking you probably can't cast a plug sometimes as far, but you just kind of draw that in
and then just
cast
feed
the
it out.
line over it.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll just stick my rod in the rod holder, put the clicker on it, and then just start paying line on this, and it's taking it out. Once I get it to where I want it, I quit letting that line out, and then now I can feed that back. Say I'm going to leave it sit there for 5 minutes, then I'm going to let out 10 feet, move it back.
How many of those damn things you got?
A couple.
I feel like we need to do an episode.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That thing is gnarly.
I think that'd be freaking awesome. I mean, plug bites from the bank. Here's, I think, the my non-having any idea how that thing works, artist rendition. You guys get the idea.
Yep.
That's the side planer, if you couldn't tell. It's got that wire that is holding the lure. You know, it feeds out from the red line, so you can change your distance any way, you know, further out from the bank or tighter to the bank. And then your plug, and then like Ryan was saying, if you just free spool, let some line out, you can work this thing back even further.
Yeah, the other side planers I've used, they constantly pop out of the water, and you don't have all the different adjustments where you can work your gear down.
Looks like an expensive loss, but that's not. It's not attached to your rod or anything. It's attached to that DAC rod.
Yeah, you never lose that unless some boat runs it over. Like, you're not going to lose that thing ever.
Most guys in boats are jerks. So I can understand that.
Draw the little seam line. So because his whole point was you can work it out, that planer out.
Yeah, so the current's flowing here. You're going to just keep working this guy out this direction, out further, and just choose where you want to run that plug. And I'd imagine just like plunking and just like anything else, whatever you're going to be fishing, like you fish it for a little bit, nothing comes by, move it out.
Oh, yeah.
Move it out. Move it out.
And if you have a nice straight run where you know there's fish sitting in it, it's so effective from the bank because now it's turned. That's basically your boat.
Yeah.
And you're just letting line out through the clip or the line where it catches on the line, and you can feed back that whole run until you find the fish.
Give some tips on how to not lose plugs. I snag a lot of debris coming down the river and collects on the plug. I mean, with debris coming down the river, sometimes it's
just got to kind of watch.
It's the battle.
You just got to pay attention, and I run 40 to 50 pound braid to a 20 pound leader when I'm running plugs, especially from the bank. I want
what
something.
What brand is that side planer?
Bank Ease.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Sometimes for weeds, when I know there's going to be a lot of debris in the water, I'll put an extra barrel swivel about 5-6 feet above my plug or whatever I'm going to fish, and then put a bead in front of that, and it kind of blocks, that all the weeds from getting onto the plug. It just accumulates right there on that bead. Keeps it off the presentation.
Yeah, and I've seen guys take rubber bands and put them on their line too to like catch all the grass and debris. That's another thing you guys can do.
I could tell you a couple years ago, we were sockeye fishing. Columbia was really high, just full of weeds. I mean, just full of weeds. And I was sitting around 30 other boats, and I was probably catching 4 to 1 to everybody. And it was because I was running rubber bands on my line, just keeping the grass off it. Not that I was doing anything fancy at all, but I was just keeping your nose clean.
Keeping the gear clean.
Yep, it made all the difference in the world. So yeah, if debris is just a thing, you got to fight. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You
gotta
found
adapt and overcome, right?
I feel like that'd be a fun video. Like find the right situation.
What are you finding them for online right now these days?
How much?
Yeah.
Hang on, I just had it up. I didn't want to put a certain website.
I want to say they're around like 80.
No.
No.
Oh, well, this said retail $34.95.
Oh, nice.
Sell for $15, but they're sold out. So
might not be able to get them anymore. Go to new comments.
Yeah, hang on. Certain big box store has them for $28.30.
Might need to get a spread of them and do an episode, huh?
I mean, I could think of some
Yeah, like-
spots that would work really good.
I guarantee you that would be an awesome episode. Get like 6 of them and just everyone has their.
We should. That'd be fun.
Coming through.
You think about it, you could almost run. Oh, maybe you couldn't, but you could run like.
You can run anything off that, Cameron. You can run a jumbo 50 diver, jet 20 diver.
Exactly.
You can run like.
But why would you? I mean, at that point, why would you? I think the purpose is to run the plug.
No, the
What I say-
purpose is
YouTube
the
videos showing sturgeon.
The purpose is you can control where you're running that plug instead of just having it out there, throwing a weight out there, and it's just sitting there. Like you're
It basically
controlling.
becomes the boat, like
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, you can push it back.
We're talking about bank fishing, and it's a way that you now have a $34 boat that you can actually make the runs and work the whole slot.
Like a boat does.
Yep.
Maybe we should have a GoFundMe for Cam's art lesson. Maybe you can come in here, Jonathan, and just draw them for us.
That's a good comment.
Bank Ease. Bank EASE is what they're called.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you're gonna be seeing those freaking things all over the river.
I'm
Wait,
like,
you
Right,
watch.
all of our troll spots.
These dudes are gonna be like right in the middle of the perfect float fishing runs out there with their bankies.
Yeah.
Just
Just plugging it up.
Like a captain.
There's a river at the coast that I love to fish, and there was this one hole that we used to do so good twitching. Every time we roll up onto this hole, there was this old timer there, just had the whole hole every single time with a side planer.
Side playing it up.
He was such a cool guy though. He was fun to talk to, but every time I'd be like, "Damn it, side planer guy's there again." That was always our statement.
Definitely don't want to. You guys use them where you're not going to impede on, drift spots or bogger spots like that. If there's people there,
When in Rome.
try to use your discretion on that.
Made in Rogue River, Oregon.
Oh.
Molder-ink.com.
Wouldn't the planer just drift back to the bank? No, because once
It has that fin on it
Wing
that's
on
it. Yeah, it has-
square, and then it has another fin on it to keep it on the surface.
it has a fin that's going to keep it square. So as long as you're not letting out more line, that thing, once it gets out there, it's going to be really tight on this line, the Dacron, and it's going to be stationary. It's going to move a little bit with the flow, but it's not going to back down or anything. It's going to lock in because it's going to be kind of like that. And that's what's cool about that feature on this one compared to the other ones that are out there on the market. It doesn't take much pressure to release that, Cameron. Like, come back and just watch how it just slides right off.
Does the line hang in this hook?
It sits right in there, and then look. When the line's in there,
yeah.
it just goes like this.
It'll
Think
just
about it.
get
Your rod
pulled.
tips up here. Your line's coming down
Oh,
like this.
yeah, I guess the line.
Your line's
yeah,
not going to be pulling like
right in the crook of that.
So
yeah,
your line angle's coming down, say 45 degree, like this. When
Yeah,
the
so
fish-
it's actually up
Mix.
in here versus because that's why I'm like pulling squarely back on that. I'm like, fuck, are you using
No,
the
but
100
feel
pound-
it.
Yeah, it's like
Put it like your line
Yeah.
angle and
yeah,
watch
exactly,
how it releases.
exactly.
It
I
slides
get what
off
you're saying.
super nice.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Huh?
Look at him all. Look at the wheels turning.
Interesting, yeah.
And that weight's there, so it catches
throw
the
the
line.
line out. Yeah, cast it out.
So you don't have to reel this thing in every time you hook a fish.
That's pretty cool.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I got a couple spots that like you could just be absolute gangster fishing
yeah.
plugs.
Yeah.
For steelhead.
Or bait divers. Or
Oh, I got yeah.
give it back.
Give it
That'd be a lot of fun. Like I know a very good spot that would be very good
if
to
guys
do.
actually,
You know this spot as well too.
if guys
And
actually
you could go
use
do it and it would be freaking awesome.
I can think of a handful of spots.
If guys get
We'll
those
talk.
and use them proper, they're going to catch a lot more fish from the bank.
Well, I'm thinking about 4 or 5 guys in one spot. I can think of you're going to catch
A lot.
every fish that comes up the river that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's cool.
Can you imagine just setting that thing out there and backing into a
The
log
addicted
jam?
side planer dropping this winter 2023. Shut up. Shut
The
up.
only good news is you can't find them anywhere.
No?
No, every place is.
Sucks to be you.
Every place is out of stock.
Nice.
Does it take it out with your plug? You can do either or.
Either or.
Yeah. They have a video online. Huh. I've never caught a fish or even tried to use a side planer like ever.
Me neither.
So
Never
that would
done
be just
it.
kind of fun.
They're awesome. They're awesome, especially if you can back your gear down instead of just sitting it out there.
No, this spot would be like, don't need to do that.
Nope, they'll come right to you.
Yeah. Brandon's gonna sell by none of these. Yeah,
Whoa.
maybe. Oops. Yeah, it'd be very
Are
fun.
we switching to him now? Did he do his topic?
Yeah.
Plugs from
Talked about plugs. Talked about planers.
Where were you?
Yeah.
You producing so hard that you forgot?
Hey, blacked
Was
out,
it
man.
all
I
blurry?
blacked out.
I produced so hard, bro.
But we got
Hey, let's do another giveaway
That's
and,
what we got last
let's
giveaway.
get the randomizer randomizing because there's
Yeah,
a
well,
lot
I
of
was gonna
people
say.
talking spam and all this rigged and all this stuff. So
Yeah,
let's
but
get
believe
that
it or not-
randomizer.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well, what if the randomizer picks are for the
That-
She's been commenting a
Then
lot.
you better
She's been
randomize
commenting a
again,
lot.
or people are gonna have mutiny on this show.
No. If she gets picked again, she gets picked
I don't
again.
know what to do if it does.
It's the randomizer, but we gotta have good questions for the randomizer, guys. So, like
Do we
we already asked the whole sportsman show. What is your favorite part of either the Puyallup or the Portland Sportsman Show? What are you going to the Sportsman Show for? Gear, learning techniques, the trout pond, to see addicted? Let's be honest, it's all to see little. What is it? What is it? What do you guys like? And we're trying to promote comments out of you.
Randomizing.
The randomizer.
To help the randomizer.
You guys, by the way, you can go to the Portland Sportsman Show and hit said randomizer anytime you want. He'll be there.
What the F?
So there we go. There we go. So why do you go to the Sportsman Show? What's your favorite part of the Sportsman Show? Seminars, the cooking, the food, the corn dogs, the $10 Rainiers. I don't know.
Trout
You tell me.
pond.
The boats. Boat show. Stevens Marine, our big sponsor, is going to be there. They got always the sickest stuff. Tell you what. Like, what is it? Just curious.
Oh, little.
Techniques, gear from
Techniques,
Addicted, meet and
gear,
greet, new
meet.
gear, not going, stock up for the year.
The cool thing is too is Fish USA is actually coming to the Puyallup show.
Fish USA is going to be.
Nice.
Oh, wait, I can hear you say that. Never
Yeah,
mind.
they're coming to the Puyallup show. I'm excited about it. They're going to be bringing some what do they call them? E-bucks. So they're going to be walking around like handing people e-bucks to shop on their website.
Huh.
Nice.
So it should
I
be
feel
cool.
like my bass boat should say Fish USA on it.
Maybe
I think it should.
get a little Fish USA
That's right.
wrap.
Let's get a hold of the boat.
Here you go, dude.
Hey, the
Well,
guys from Fish
got
USA,
Fish
if you're
USA
watching,
sticking for it right there.
Cam needs a sponsorship
I
for
got to
his
start
bass
my
boat.
bass career. Giving up on the silver one.
We need-
Seminars, the bobbers, checking out gear, ADX crew, randomize me, the
What's on
deals,
what's
$10
on your
beers.
bass jersey
Those aren't
right now?
deals. What?
What's on your bass jersey right now? Just a picture of your head.
I actually have 2 jerseys. Do I do? You'll never see them. Seminars,
Just
needing
give,
a new,
just give him a
his
year. He'll be wearing
jersey.
those
Needing a
things
new
soon.
Text
cooler.
Lex right now.
He'll
going
be-
to the river that day.
he'll be
'cause
wearing
y'all
those
be at the
things
show.
soon, dude.
Daniel, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I'll watch it and make a video. What? It's going too fast. Can't wait to slay the merch. Oh, ditch pickles. That's right. Side plane me across the river. Learn some new ways to fish. Just give Hannah the third product too. I don't think she's coming anymore. He's like,
I
damn.
haven't seen her now.
Yeah. 25-foot Columbia with the side console and a 400 Merc. Now we're talking.
Boat.
Yeah.
That boat's got some bark.
That's right. Learn some new ways to fish. All of it.
It won't take a
Got to give me
400.
some lessons,
Tackle, meet and
understandables.
greets.
Not going. Well, boo on you, man.
New rod.
There's
Lots
always
of
such good
different
deals
stuff.
there on rods.
Dude, yeah.
It's a great place to buy a rod
Nets.
for sure.
All the
They
mullets.
always have.
Also, Sportco informed me that they will have crazy deals on our backpacks and our kill bags in Puyallup. So
Yeah. Sportco.
it's going to be some really good deals.
Lots of good stuff.
Addicted bobbleheads.
How much
No.
boot space we have at Puyallup?
30 feet,
Can you imagine?
What did we have last year? It was only like
20.
20.
okay.
We got 30 this year,
Deep fried spam.
50 in Portland.
Read all these great comments.
Quick fish.
Also, guys, at the 𝗛𝗚𝗏 show and the Portland show, there'll be some really good seminars happening from Cameron, from Big Dave, from Popoff, from me, from Jordan. They have probably one of the best seminar schedules I've ever seen them put together. Some really, really cool speakers. I think Jared's speaking about spinfish fishing. They have Herzog speaking about spoon fishing. They got some really good seminars lined up.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited to go this year.
You're not invited.
I didn't even.
That's
That's all right.
It's okay. He'll be fishing while we're all stuck at the show.
Exactly.
He's not an idiot. Oh, lots of good stuff. All
Hopefully
We
the
are
rivers will
always
fish.
trying to bail and go fish.
Yeah.
Are we going back to Southern Oregon again? Good question.
Yep, we'll be there for at least one day.
Doubtful.
At least one bash for the Central Oregon show.
What date's that?
I don't know. We better figure it out,
We
right?
better figure it out right now. Oh. Cam versus Jordan corn dog eating contest. I'll lose.
Yeah.
But they are good corn dogs.
Jordan
That's
really-
like the one time a year I'll eat the damn corn dog.
Jordan really knows how to swallow a wiener.
There goes your mic.
You probably deserve that. Oh, man. Seminars, all right. Let's
Randomize.
Cam should do a live art show at the. Hey, if everything goes right, it will be an art show, but not what you think. Not what you think. Randomizer. Oh my God.
Boom.
I think Logan Cleary. Congratulations, you won a
Randomize me.
prize pass of Pink Dream, not Orange Dream, because we got real creative on the names that we decided a Pink Dream was acceptable too. A Pink Dream Addicted 25 mil bead.
We could have called it Wet
The
Dream.
Pink Champagne 4-inch Addicted and a. Oh, come on, guys, do better. Give me a pink float. Where's the damn pink float?
We
No.
already gave it.
And then a freaking bright yellow float. Like we could have called this the pink package. Come on, we missed there.
I'm calling that chartreuse. We go
The
around and
chartreuse.
around on that all the time.
Yeah.
Chartreuse,
Chartreuse.
fixed bobber. Logan
Yeah.
Cleary, tell us you won the third Addicted Steelhead prize pack of the night. And be sure to include your address, email orders at Addicted
And
Fishing.
if you don't tell us exactly what you want, if it just says third pack, there's no guarantee. you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
you may or may not get this package.
It'll be one of these packages down
It'll
here.
be something, but you never know. It's kind of process of elimination. All right, last prize pack. What do we got to do for the last prize pack? I kind of used up all my equity on the what we were talking about the sports show.
Did
Oh,
you
wait.
give away the plug?
You got the plug for the last
Yeah.
number 2 of 200.
Those things are a hot commodity.
It's a good plug.
Congrats, Hannah.
That thing's gonna murder some fish.
It has.
Logan won, not Hannah.
Thanks for the invites. This guy just tells me about fishing and invites me.
What are we talking about here? Are we just going?
We're
It's
trying to
9
figure out.
o'clock.
It is
Trying to
solid.
figure
We've
out
never
something
been-
else.
Like, these last few nights.
We went to
have
like 8:50 last week.
these last
We were
few
here.
live feeds have been long. I'm glad you guys hang
Already
out with
asked
us
the saber
We appreciate
plug
you.
color.
What's that?
I was just thinking of a question.
What did you say we're going to talk about next week?
I don't know.
That's the question. What? So, guys, out of all the steelhead subjects that we have out there in the world, what do you want us to talk about next week? Let's hear it.
Yeah. What do you guys want to see a live feed on? Let's hear it. What do you guys? If you've been waiting for us to do this one particular show, one technique. Now, keep in mind, a lot of you guys might say something that we just did a couple weeks ago, and it's going to be there. But what can we talk about this year for the show? We got super chat. Hey, tuned in late tonight. How is the mics and mixer working for you guys? What is the sign plane you guys are showing off called? It's called the Bank Ease, and everything is working swimmingly thanks to your advice and your help, and we appreciate that. And that is, I believe, the guy, M&B Audio.
Reading water.
That is
That's a
Mr.
good one.
Brian. So yeah, we will. Oh, reading water. Oof.
Cam would have to prep for that one.
Bass. There we go. I saw bass. We're doing bass next week.
Look at river names. Nah, that's not going to
I'm
happen.
getting a couple. It's not
Not
like
gonna
hey,
happen.
Let's be honest though. It's not like they're hard to figure out anymore because only about a quarter of them are open now. So shit, it's not that hard to figure out.
Water levels. That could be something to.
Yeah. Reading water.
Waders.
I
I've
wanna
seen
see-
that a couple
I
times.
want to see
Waders.
Kanigi and I saw another bass. Ooh, the third bass. Oh, come on. It's gonna be bass.
Spam.
No,
bass.
I can't talk about bass. Let's see, Cam and Marlin box. I got like a 9-inch reach on him. Come on.
It's not going to be a very good boxing match.
Come on. He's either going to kill me or I'm going to kill him. Bass. There's more
It's
bass.
the same guy.
No, I don't think it is.
It's the same
No,
guy.
no, I don't see it that way.
The same guy's just tooting
Nope.
your horn.
He's
I
a
don't see it that
spammer
way.
ass.
Talk springers. You know damn good and well we're going to be talking springers.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get the
Can't jump the gun, and we've already even had like Patrick.
What steelhead
Cullen.
subjects have we not covered yet?
We could
Did
probably
you
do a
spoon spinner.
That's what I was saying. We could probably do a spoon and spinner one. More bass, plugs for bass.
Spoon
Bass fishing,
spinners
bobber fishing for
and
bass.
reading water.
Reading water.
Spoons
is
and spinners
so
could be like their
hard. Like
own
I feel
thing.
like if we really wanted to do it right, like
feel
we
like
probably
they-
need to grab like Sean and go out in the river and just.
You wouldn't even need to do that. You could just pull clips from our videos.
We
We did that one time.
But that requires Cam to do homework, and it's not going to happen.
No, if I remember right, it didn't work worth a damn because it was like really hard to move.
That's
the
a
videos, but I
tough
think-
one.
No.
Hold
It
on,
works.
hold
I thought
on.
it
because
worked.
of your clips. Marlon's like, why didn't you get these? We have like 5,000 clips of all way better stuff. You make all these stupid clips.
Well, because it's what they look like in a video. But what I'm saying is that
Look
I
at
don't-
everyone wants that
how
side
long-
plan to see how many.
But
They're
what
like, do
happened
that
then?
for the
Okay,
giveaway.
Hey,
They all want
Mr.
it.
Producer, then
I'm not. Don't
What
ask the guy that doesn't
were we
fish to
doing?
pull
Were,
clips.
were we using?
Hey, Clint, go pull me a bunch of clips.
yeah,
We'll get a
yeah,
bunch
no
of
kidding.
trash.
Show me the same ones Cameron pulled last year. Stupid ones.
It wasn't last year. It was years ago. But what I'm wondering is that like, were you using this like?
I don't think we were
Format.
using this software.
So it might be really easy to do.
I don't think we were using this software when we did that clip.
Probably not.
Yeah.
The problem is though, when we go out in video, like you see it from the bank, you know that video like water doesn't do justice in a video. Never does.
No.
Like big waves, like boats flipping, stuff like that. Like it just doesn't ever do justice. So like we gotta get like a drone up and like actually like if we
We have
format
so much
that.
drone footage.
We do, but not like specifically like of like we have like pretty shots and I don't know. Like
We
tell me.
100% do. Like we could easily
go pick them out then, bud.
We could easily do it.
This is Cameron not wanting to do
I mean, we have 400 steelhead videos.
Are you really gonna go there right now? Like when we
Well,
dealt
hey.
with this crap for freaking 3 years, you
Hey.
never did it. I did it one day. Shut the hell up.
Where
We have
Anyways.
300. I mean, we got plenty.
I'm just thinking about like, but okay, I'm gonna pull the same clips I pulled last time. It didn't work. You guys are telling me it didn't work. Then what are we gonna do different this time? Let's not do the same crap again.
We
That's
got-
like the state of Washington trying to figure it out.
We got clips.
If they do the same crap over and over again, it doesn't work.
We could definitely do it. If we want to do reading water, we could definitely do it.
people are still waiting.
Well,
for
I'm
your
not pulling
your
clips.
casting video too that you promised.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't do it. I don't care. Deal with it.
I want $100.
Book a trip.
Book it.
Book it.
Book a trip. I'll show you. How about that?
There you go.
Boat maintenance.
Okay.
And prep for
Like
spring.
gremlin after 9.
We're not
Look
there
at
yet. We're not there yet. We'll get there. We usually do a prep video. That'll be coming. But
Oh, like a Springer one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to touch Springers yet. But, okay, explain to me, like, I mean, reading water would probably be, like an insanely valuable one.
Between clips and your
But
drawings,
I
we
went
can
through
get
a
there.
lot of the clips, and I picked clips that I thought were going to be
3 years
viable.
ago.
Yeah, it was 3
Dude,
years
we
ago.
have 100,
Okay.
200 more videos now.
All right.
Like, even when I just envision this drone shots that Sean gets now, there's so much more.
So you're saying, okay, the clips might be better to pull from.
Oh, there's a lot,
Okay.
dude.
All right.
There's a lot.
All right.
Even if you just think
I'll
about
calm down.
there's a lot, dude.
It's
It's just a
freaking
matter of
alligator,
doing it.
man.
Centerpin fishing, as we're talking about.
Yeah, center pin done. All right.
Boat
See you
maintenance.
next week.
Cam needs a
Cam needs
Snickers.
stickers. No, it's like,
Or
But if it didn't work the
Hey.
first time, you understand what I'm saying.
what about if we bring Kyle in next week
That needs to happen anyways.
and we just do like a Midwest versus Pacific
Let's talk
Northwest
some
steelhead?
I
Midwest.
did see
And
that.
he
a
can
couple
explain
times
us
on
like the center pin thing. Like really like we'll grill him on it. 'Cause we all have
How
a-
many of you guys want to see like a Midwest
Yeah.
/ Pacific Northwest kind of a versus video? We'll get someone in here that's a really good fisherman from the Midwest. We'll e-cam him in here.
Let them argue it
Not
out.
like not a versus video,
Oh,
but just
versus for sure. I'm gonna argue with
Okay.
him like crazy.
Controversy.
That'll make it more fun.
I see a bunch of people asking about where I got this plug case and stuff, and they had them for a few years at the show. I can't remember the name of the company, but
I can't either, but they're there every year.
They're there at the show every year, you
Something
guys. So,
specialties.
yeah, go check them out. They have different colors and stuff. I know Cody Herman has them, and you can find them at the show. I can't remember the name.
I think Cody used to sell one on his website too for a while. Orange ones though. You can hear every little thing you're doing right now.
Sweet. That's cool.
What about the old school Coke bottles?
Sound effects.
That's the Mexican Coke. It's the best because it uses real cane.
It's Mexican Coke.
Dude, the glass. if you don't drink glass Coke bottles, you're missing out, dude.
Well, and it's
10 times better than regular Coke.
It's got about half the ingredients.
Are we like?
And it has real cane sugar. It's the Mexican one, right?
It's the second ingredient is
Product
cane
of
sugar.
Mexico.
Yeah, it's Mexico Coke.
Yeah, it's the bomb, dude. It tastes totally different.
That's why it says refresco on the bottom.
I'm gonna keep my
And it
next
looks like there's some
comment to
warning labels
myself.
on it too.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there warning?
Yeah.
Do not consume. You will get cancer. Well, whatever.
I do see a lot.
I'm
of
on
guys
a random
mentioning-
drug program.
I do see a lot of guys mentioning like Cook stuff. Bass again.
Cook?
It's the same guy.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
We've already said you got to talk about spoons and spinners like that's something that
We got to do a spoon and spinner episode, a reading water, but let's think. We got one more week, and then the following week we're at the Puyallup, right? So let's hash this out. So we only have next week, and then the following week we're at Puyallup. So we got to figure out what we're talking about next week.
You still gotta get that plug away, right?
It's in my hand. What are we talking about next week, guys? Reading water
This is your job.
or Midwest? How about that? Colombian.
Yeah, Wilderness Specialty Packs. That's who it was. I was trying to remember the name of those guys. That's who makes those plug bags and stuff.
Wilderness specialty.
They're awesome because you can just rinse them out and.
They usually have a bunch of them at the Sportsman Show, but the thing is, guys, is they sell out in like the first few days normally. So
Yeah. They don't make it to the weekend.
yeah, we
Spoons.
should get some custom
Spoons.
spoons, man.
Spoons
That'd be
and spinners.
sick.
I see a lot of people saying spoons and spinners stuff
Yeah.
next week.
It's a good idea, actually.
Gear maintenance.
Yeah.
We could get Jordan in here and do spoon spinners and hardware and stuff. That's a really good one. That's always a
I
good
feel
one.
like that's one that you
That's
could
like
That's
really
the one we're missing.
literally
That's the
dive
last
in.
thing that hasn't been talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we-
everything's
And
else,
golden ticket next week.
everything else has been covered.
Yeah, we will do the golden ticket drawing next week for sure. Even though last time we drew the golden ticket thing, I said that we were going to do it for sure like 8 weeks in a row. Walleyes banging, dude.
yeah.
I know. I want to go get some walleye. Some of those big fat mamas. I've been looking at all Tyler's pictures.
Is it the trophy seat? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to go catch some of those. I've always wanted
But
to.
he said it, he just texted me the other day and he's like, come over in February. It's just not
Yeah,
cracking
it
yet.
seems
Like he's
like-
getting them, but I was like, well, what's up with next weekend? And he said, nah, just wait till February. It'll be better if you can make it over.
That's what I heard too. That's what TJ always told me.
Saw that.
Gaffney, shut up.
How do you fish in closed waters? Well, apparently there's research people fishing our closed streams right now. Gaffney, you can get on one of those research boats and go hook a bunch of steelhead, I guess.
Yeah, you could get hired by WDFW.
Because, I mean, let's just study it to death because they're going to compare those catch numbers to all the other catch numbers on those closed. Oh, wait. No, it's just the first year. Never mind. What was I thinking?
Super chat, back bouncing. Yeah, back bouncing for steelhead. I guess it would work. It's not really a technique that's used a lot because that's more in deeper water. For Chinook really is the most effective technique for Chinook salmon. But
Winter blackmouth. We have been talking about going and doing that for like
I'm not
5
gonna go.
years.
I used to do that a lot in the winter, but
They fired me.
that's kind of slowed down compared to what it
You
was
didn't
years
have
ago.
what they call the skills. Oh, boy.
How to make an excuse to your wife to go fishing. Well, got to pick the right one, I guess.
Yep.
Mine, if I don't fish or hunt, like she's like,
Are
you've
you
been
sick?
home for 3 days. Like, what are you doing?
Are you okay?
Yeah. There's
My
got.
wife tells me to leave because if I'm at home, I'm just sitting there like.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm
I'm
like
bugging her.
little-
I'm all
like a little
ADHD
meth head.
out.
Ricky just can't do it, dude.
All right, let's.
Let's get drifting.
I
We
like
just
that.
talked
Yeah,
about
we're
it.
just drift fish out.
Yeah, that's what we talked about for 40
trolling.
minutes.
All right, guys. Next week will be a surprise. I'm guessing we know what will be. It'll probably be spinner and spoons, but we understand that we probably need to try and take a crack at reading water before the season's over, and then probably after the Portland show, that'd be the last week of February, and then it'll be time to talk Springer. So really, we have 2 more live feeds till Springer.
Someone always talks about the Springer at the Sportsman Show.
Someone's going to catch a Springer in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We are prime. Temps are up. Water's up. Someone will catch one in 2 weeks. It won't
It's
be
going to
me.
be Cameron.
It won't be me.
What's the name of that side planer?
Bankies.
All right. Pick a winner, Clint. Let's get on up and out of here.
Wow. I didn't
Randomizer
realize it was 9
says
o'clock.
Alex Catrone. Bead or bag? I don't know. Bead or bag? I don't know. But congratulations. You won the Addicted prize pack that included the number 2 out of 200 Steely Trap Custom Addicted Maglip 3.5, some pink lemonade DRO beads, and the Firefly worm. So pretty sick package there. Email orders at addicted.fishing. Tell us your address. Tell us you won the 4th prize pack.
The one with
tonight.
the plug.
The one with the
That's
plug.
the most.
Yeah, that's
Probably the key
that's the
spot.
one.
Yeah, we don't know the numbers, guys, so
Yeah.
we're not the one that ships these packages. So please, when you email, just let us know what was in the prize pack.
Yeah. All right, guys. Last reminder: tickets on addicted.fishing. And shoot for the bashes.
These bashes are going to be big time, guys. And the other cool thing is you're going to be hanging out with
Yeah, everyone's going to be
500,
there.
600 of your favorite buddies. It's a good time.
kayak.
We're giving away a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We got 5 or 6 rods and reels at each bash. There's a lot of stuff.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy.
We'll
Oh,
see you guys
bags
there.
as in spawn bags. Got it.
We
don't
don't
talk about that.
fish bags on the West Coast. A lot of guys do fish bags on the West Coast. They just don't talk about it.
Hit the like before you leave. That's a good idea, Daniel. And you know what? We are going to leave. So congratulations, guys. We'll see you next week.